Is hot girl summer being hot girl summer being led by Brigitte Macron? Sometimes propaganda, when it's too naked, actually just hurts the cause that it purports to support. What is your obsession with Brigitte? This Brigitte?
People will always see what they want to see, but the truth is always right beneath the surface.
Is hot.
Sorry about that. I wasn't ready for that to end. I thought it was longer. What's up, everybody? I have a second video to start out with, but I had to do this one first because I thought I saw that. I was like, man, everybody's going to like that. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's see who's here. What's up? Got Lurch Linger. What's up, buddy? I wanted to thank you. I did get your Cash App last night. I think it was a Cash App or a PayPal last night. Thank you very much. Mr. Sneaky Sean, awesome to see you. Genome Editor, what's up? Might be able to stay a while tonight, stuck in the lab. Well, hey, listen, don't do anything in the lab that, don't make any errors. Delay is obvious. What's up? Great to see you. Critter Sitter, how do y'all hit the thumbs up, sit back and relax, enjoy the start of the weekend? That's right. Iowa Backyard Cams is here. Have a great show. Hit the likes, peeps. That's right. Catherine K's here too. Delay is obvious. A few weeks ago, a young Jim decided to start this channel. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Good evening, everyone. Yes, NASCAR Mo, great to see you. Artemis Landing was amazing. God bless America. Smoke them if you got them. That's right. How you doing, Rodney? Hey, Barbie World, what's up? I've got Iran fatigue. Yeah, me too. Me too. But let's do this. We'll do this real quick, and then got this other video here real quick. We'll do this one. Ready? Check this out. Because I don't know if you guys heard.
He's pulled back because, the way that he's thinking of foreign policy, it seems, is when he talks about America first, it's to withdraw from these relationships and these connections. And then he kind of acts like a mob boss.
Like a mob boss.
So then he's kind of like, well, you take Eastern Europe and I'll take the Western Hemisphere.
Damn, this here's some good shit. Y'all go get you some now. So yeah, I am finna run for press 2028. Easy win.
That was gross. That was gross. That was gross. What's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? Miss Hacker, great to see you. Renee Collins, awesome. Not that witch. Yeah, supposedly she's thinking about running. We're going to cover that story later. Michelle, awesome to see you. So what's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? It's Friday night. I know it's a little late, but it's not really late. I used to always do the shows like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was going to start early tonight and get arrayed by Robert, but I had computer issues. My computer decided that it didn't want to work after it was an update. I had to go in and use the USB drive and use the boot drive and do all this stuff to get it to work. I had to uninstall things and reinstall things because, every time there's a Windows update, it seems stuff just wants to stop working. Crazy, isn't it? Q-Ed Waz, what's up, buddy? Run away, please. That's right. Fran VT, how you doing? Great to see you, Queen. Lisa, awesome to see you. She's not thinking. No, she's not. She's not. Terry, awesome to see you, too. So, so the way, I want to tell everybody there's a goal tonight, as there is every night. The show is going to go about your brand new expensive computer. Yes. But I did, I called the company that built it, and they told me, there's nothing we could do. It's Microsoft Windows updates always screws with stuff, so this is what you got to do to fix it. And it worked, and it fixed. It just took me about 2 hours to fix it. So, so there's a goal tonight. The show's going to be about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, somewhere around there. It could be even 3 hours, whatever. It's going to be what it's going to be. But if we hit the goal, which is $100 across all platforms, Super Chats, Rumble Rants, gifted memberships, becoming members on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Locals Coins, Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, Super Tips. We add it all up. When we hit 100, we activate an extra hour. And then for every 100 that comes in, we add an additional extra hour to the show. And as an added bonus, what I like to do is I like to add this thing called Bellavision, which there she is. There's Bella. When we hit $50, we activate Bellavision for the evening. Unless somebody is so generous that they donate an individual donation of $25 or greater, then that would automatically activate Bellavision for the evening. And that could just be a $25 Cash App or PayPal or a Super Chat, Super Tip, Rumble Rant, or it could be 5 gifted memberships on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, anything like that. That would automatically activate Bellavision for the evening. Yes, it is. Spud says Jim has vinyl in the background. Cool. Oh yeah, yes, I have vinyl in the background. A whole bunch of vinyl. I also got a bunch of CDs, a bunch of other stuff. Dan, what's up? Hey, Jim, I'm on time and just finished watching my sports show. That's awesome. What's up, Dan? Yes, hi, Gagax. And then money order. Well, I don't know. Don't go away mad, just go away. Yeah, well, what's it say? Good evening, Jim. Disappointed in Lindsey Graham's endorsement. Wish people didn't waste time with 25th Amendment talk and supported the opponent. They blacklisted the opponent. Yeah. I'm not happy about Lindsey Graham. You should sell Bella treats. Well, Bella doesn't have any money. Why would I sell her treats? Hey, look at this. The first $5 of the evening comes in from America First. Support Jim so Bella can eat. That's right. Thank you so much. And with that, that means we are now just $95 away from adding a first additional hour to the show and $45 away from Bellavision, which, what's she doing on the screen? Man, she's over there on the screen. I'm going to have to do this and take her off because she's not supposed to be there. Thank you so much for the 5. So, let's get into this first story of the evening. What do you say, folks? What do you say? It says Iran sets conditions for talks with the U.S. You say, wait a minute, what? Wait, what? What do you mean conditions? Yeah, Iran has set fresh conditions for negotiations with the United States, warning that talks cannot begin unless Israel halts its strikes in Lebanon and that Washington releases Tehran's frozen assets. So they want us to pay them to talk to us. I honestly don't see this working out well. I don't see how. I don't see this working out well. Super chat for you to treat her. Oh, I guess I could do that. Pat Hacker says, I can see Bella's ribcage. She's losing weight. Well, I hope she's losing weight. She needs to lose weight. She's overweight. She really is. She needs to lose at least 10 pounds. She really does. Parliament Speaker Mohammed Bagher Ghalibaf outlined the demand, stating both conditions must be met before formal discussions, according to his statement. They're back. Who's back? Yeah, the Iranians are back. Yeah. Guess who's back? Back again. Oh, shit. This is what I forgot to do. I didn't do this. Yeah, give J.D. Vance a machine gun. That's what we should do. I forgot to do this. I got to bring the Rumble chat over here so I can see it. Okay. All right. Now I'm ready. Now I was ready. I agreed. She does need to lose weight. She does. She does need to lose weight. Yes. Artemis 2. Yeah, they're back. Artemis 2 is back. Maybe I'll pull up a video of splashdown stuff. We'll see. Iran's parliament speaker says negotiations with the U.S. cannot begin, which they're supposed to begin tomorrow, until two key conditions are met. So this is, I think we should just give them the money, but they should be attached to like some JDAMs. The development comes as a U.S. delegation led by J.D. Vance arrived in Islamabad for talks. Vance said negotiations could be positive, but warned Iran against acting in bad faith, which wouldn't you kind of think this is acting in bad faith, where right before they're supposed to start talks, they say, no, now you got to give us money to talk to us. Wouldn't that be bad faith? Why is my camera screwed up again? What is going on with my camera? Huh. No, they didn't open up the strait, so they haven't even begun to fulfill their end. Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know why the bombs ain't already dropping again. The demands add strain to the fragile 2-week ceasefire brokered by President Trump. Meanwhile, tensions remain high over the Strait of Hormuz, where shipping flows are still restricted. Trump has criticized Iran's handling of the vital oil route, warning against imposing transit fees. The continued disruption threatens the global energy supply and underscores the uncertainty surrounding ongoing diplomatic efforts. Because last I looked, oil prices were, I'll just show you guys so you know. We'll do this real quick. Oil prices are under $90 a barrel right now. So, I mean, they could be, if we do this, let's do 1 month. So they're, 6 months. So they were at 60 for almost a whole year. And then once the stuff started in February, it shot up. So we're going to need it to, let's go. And then 5 year, look at this. Wow, look at all the way over here in 2022. It was way higher. So why was it higher in 2022 than it is now? That's crazy, right? Wow. Crazy. But yeah, so you can see this is when the ceasefire was announced. It dropped like a rock. And then it went up a little and it's back down again. So close, 89.11 is where it's at right now. When has Iran ever acted in good faith, Greeley? Never. That's what I'm saying. Never. Trusting them is like, I don't think the Iranian regime does anything in good faith. Well, that group that keeps threatening to shut down the strait unless you do as they say is demanding you do something or they aren't going to talk. Yes. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Yes, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. It's all a broker's game in the short term. Yeah. 2022 was the start of Ukraine. Yeah, it was, and it caused prices to spike up. I thought Trump said the regime in Iran was destroyed. Well, he did say something like that. I'm starting to wonder what's going on. U.S. ceasefire with Iran. What's next? A former diplomat explains 3 possible scenarios. This is not the story I thought it was. This ain't the story. What is going on here? This is the one I wanted. So, Iran demands Lebanon ceasefire, unfreezing of assets before peace talks. This wasn't part of the. Yes, they still have all the guns. That's the problem. Iran said on Friday that blocked Iranian assets must be released and that a ceasefire must take hold in Lebanon before peace talks can proceed, throwing a last-minute doubt over negotiations scheduled for Saturday in Pakistan. Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammed Bakr Galibaf, said on X that the 2 measures had been previously agreed with the U.S. and warned that negotiations would not start until they're fulfilled. That's not true. There was never any agreement to give them money until after negotiations were done. If you think the price is going up, you hold your oil. If you think it's going down, you sell it not to get stuck with it. It's all crystal ball stuff. Yeah. This war was poorly thought out. Well, we're going to have to wait and see on that. We really are. Because I think this ceasefire was poorly thought out because obviously they didn't destroy as much as they thought they did if they're still acting like this. That would be my guess. This is a group that said they wanted to end the ceasefire because Israel is bombing Lebanon, aka their paid proxies. Yes. Though his post was echoed by Foreign Minister Abbas Aragachi, who also called for Israeli airstrikes on Lebanon to stop. President Trump told New York Post early on Friday that U.S. warships were being reloaded with the best ammunition to resume strikes if Iran if the peace talks fail. We're going to find out in about 24 hours, and we're going to know soon, Trump said in a phone interview. Vice President Vance, who will lead the U.S. delegation to the talks, said he's expecting a positive outcome as he headed to Pakistan. But if they're going to try to play us, they're going to find out the negotiating team is not that receptive. Iran has been unable to obtain tens of billions of dollars of its assets in foreign banks, mainly from exports of oil and gas due to U.S. sanctions on its banking and energy sectors. Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire and a 6-week war on Tuesday, just hours before the deadline, that where he threatened to destroy bridges and let Yahoo go wild. You know. The ceasefire has halted the campaign of U.S.-Israeli airstrikes, but it has so far done nothing to end the blockade of the Strait. Well, if that's the case, if they're still blockading the Strait, then we shouldn't even be talking to them. We should just be bombing. Anything they're using to block the Strait should be destroyed. Anything. Iran was doing a very poor job of letting oil through the Strait, Trump said. This is not an agreement we have. Israeli forces launched the biggest attack of the war hours after the ceasefire was announced. Israeli strikes continue across southern Lebanon on Friday with more than a dozen people. So if Israel is still bombing Lebanon after we asked them to stop bombing Lebanon, then this is some kind of issue we're going to have to deal with Israel. How are they collecting tolls from the ships? I don't know. Probably Bitcoin or something. Who knows? Lebanese authorities say 1,830 people have been killed. The hard line taken by Iran's leaders ahead of negotiations followed a defiant message from its new supreme leader, Ayatollah Mojtaba Khomeini, on Thursday. Really? Nobody's seen him or heard from him. That message wasn't for him. Khomeini has yet to be seen in public since taking over his father, who was killed on the war's first day. Said Iran would demand compensation for all wartime damage. I think that resupplying our Navy was a primary goal of Trump with the ceasefire. It's possible, Lars. That's possible. That's possible. But that's what this was all about. It's possible because if you remember, he said we're going to do this, and then he said, oh, does the ceasefire reset Trump's 90-day window? No, I don't believe so. America First says, Trump got us into something, and now we have no choice but to go all the way, walking into Iran from the ground. I don't know if we have to go in from the ground. Somebody's going to have to, but why does it have to be us? I read somewhere, not sure if it's true, but supposedly Iran doesn't know where many of the mine laid are hindering opening the straits. Oh, well, that could be it. If there's mines, if they laid mines, then yeah, that could be a problem. Tom Bravo. Thanks for being here, Tom Bravo. Why should we care if they're bombing Lebanon? The ceasefire isn't Lebanon, it's with Iran. Demand this, DJ Chi. Although Trump has declared victory, the war did not fully achieve the aims he set out to start, to deprive Iran of the ability to strike its neighbors, dismantle its nuclear program, and make it easier for the people to overthrow the government. It's coming, TikTok. It might be coming. I don't know. Iran still possesses missiles and drones capable of hitting its neighbors and stockpile more than 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to near the level needed to make a bomb. But wait, I was told they didn't have any of this stuff. That's what the Dems keep saying. Oh, no. That's fine what they've got. That's fine. Snarf, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Wounding another personnel. Iran's clerical rulers who faced a popular uprising just months ago withstood the U.S.-Israeli onslaught with no sign of organized opposition. They're using drones and missiles to target the ships. We don't know where they all are. There's no way to stop them, just time. They don't have to lay mines. They just have to say they did. Same outcome. Tehran's agenda at the talks now include demands for major new concessions, including the end of sanctions that crippled its economy for years, acknowledgments of its authority over the Strait, which can't do that, where it aims to collect fees and control access. That would be a huge shift in regional power. Hey, why would you do that? As has been the case throughout the war, Iran's own ships were sailing through the Strait unimpeded on Friday, while those of other countries remained hemmed inside. Among a handful of vessels to cross on Friday was an Iranian supertanker carrying 2 million barrels of crude. Before the war, 140 ships would cross on a typical day, including tankers carrying 20 million barrels. Hey, Jonathan Marcus, what's up? Great to see you. Ronnie says, people got to chill. What needs to be done? Yeah, whatever. We got to see what needs to be done. Disruption to energy supplies has fed inflation and slowed the global economy, with an impact expected to last for months, even if negotiations succeed in reopening the strait. I thought, and maybe I'm stupid, but I thought reopening the strait was part of the 10-day ceasefire in order to get the talks. So if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, maybe you had to actually follow through on the shock and awe or whatever it was, the super shock, the super awe, something like that. I mean, that's what I would think. That's what I would think. Mm-hmm. That's what I would think. 8? Send them ice skates? Yeah. Right? A U.S. monthly inflation data released on Friday, the first to show the impact of the war, showed consumer prices rose 0.9% in March, the fastest rate since mid-2022 inflation shock that eroded support for Trump's predecessor, Joe Biden. H.J. Remy, awesome to see you. Thanks for being here. Uzellian, good to see you too. Duck Fat's here too. There he is. Hey, what's up, Duck Fat? Great to see you. Don't we have minesweepers anymore? Not really. Britain supposedly has the minesweepers, but I don't know. Here's The Hill says, Iran says no negotiations without Lebanon ceasefire and release of assets.
Iran just hours away with this weekend's meeting to determine whether the ceasefire holds or collapses. President Trump is lashing out against Iran, posting on social media, quote, "This is not the agreement we had." He's warning Tehran to keep traffic flowing through the Strait of Hormuz and not charge tanker fees, adding they better stop. The U.S. and Iran now under pressure to turn a fragile truce into something more lasting, with delegations set to meet in Pakistan Saturday. The strait, which handles about a fifth of the world's oil, is at the center of the dispute.
And what they give is the straits are going to be reopened. If we don't see that happening, the president is not going to abide by our terms.
New tensions in Lebanon could also complicate talks. Israel continuing strikes against Hezbollah after deadly attacks earlier this week that killed more than 300 people. From Washington, Democrats are pushing back on the president over escalating threats, while
Hope you
most
feel better,
Republicans
Sunshine.
stand by his approach.
He's been terrible with the wheel. The threats of total annihilation were, beyond the pale.
Beyond the
The
pale.
fact that we're having the talks this weekend is a big win.
Iran is also insisting Lebanon be included in any ceasefire deal, a key disagreement heading into talks. And as the strait remains largely closed, Americans are feeling it at the pump. Gas prices now around $4.16 a gallon, up more than $1 since the war began.
We need to have a negotiation so that we can keep the Strait of Hormuz open and actually get the price of gas down.
Political pressure is building as House Republicans.
We don't get any oil from the Strait of Hormuz. The United States doesn't get any oil from the Strait of Hormuz. None. Zero. Zilch. So why would the Strait of Hormuz being closed affect our gas prices? I showed you what the price of crude is. That's for Brent crude futures. West Texas crude is $5 cheaper. I'm here watching you on TV. I guess they're fighting each other in Iran, the IRGC and the radicals. It's probably what's going on. You're saying not a lot, but we do. No, I don't think we do. I mean, possibly getting it going somewhere else to some bases, maybe overseas or something like that. But it, Iran can't locate the mines they set. Oh, okay, well, but we're exporting a whole bunch of oil ourselves. Help me out. No Navy, no Air Force, no Armed Forces in disarray, yet they can close the strait and dictate terms. Did I get that right? That's what it seems like. Yes, Terry, I got the story. We're going to cover that in a few minutes. The type of oil depends on what we can refine. Yeah. Oil is sold on the international market. USA oil goes to the highest bidder. That's probably what's going on. Yeah. Sheila Marie, what's up? Great to see you. Love President Trump calling out the Black Pillar podcasters. Always remember how it was to live under the censorship Dems. People forgot how good they have it, rather how bad it was. Yes.
Republicans blocked a Democratic effort Thursday to limit the president's war powers. But Democrats are expected to try again next week when Congress returns from recess. Reporting in Washington, Margaret Chadbourne.
Margaret Chadbourne. Reporting from me, Margaret Chadbourne. So, yeah, the Speaker of Iran's parliament said there will be no negotiations about a ceasefire in Lebanon and a release of the blocked assets. He's not getting the assets, so I guess we're just going to have to start bombing them again. Two matters must be fulfilled before negotiations begin. Well, then I guess the ceasefire's off. I don't know. That's what I say. That's my opinion. Fuck them. Now that's very workable basis on which to negotiate has been openly and clearly violated even before the negotiations began. Well, they're playing games. These guys are playing games. Just playing games. And Trump has a response. Trump is loading warships with the best weapons ever if the peace talks collapse. President Trump warned that U.S. warships are being loaded with the best ammunition, the best weapons ever made, and will resume massive strikes on Iran if peace talks in Pakistan collapse. Yeah, Trump says he's rearming. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't believe the news unless it's reported by Trisha Takanawa or Jim, of course. Like I said, we needed to bomb them with spam before we bomb them with actual bombs. The spam makes them unclean, and if they die, no heaven for them. Oof. Venezuela wanted to keep their own oil that caused problems. Okay. I predict by Monday the war will be back on. Wagers anyone? Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, buddy. If they don't meet tomorrow in Islamabad, it's going to be back on by Monday at the latest. Same government, not personnel, and people still under oppression. I feel a black pill coming. Yeah. Barnes is so small, Trump didn't even bother calling him out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If not, he's prepared to send ships to the region. He told the Post, we're going to find out in about 24 hours. We're going to know soon. We have a reset going, but we're loading up the ships with the best ammunition, the best weapons ever made, even better than what we did previously, and we blew them apart. Mm-hmm. But we're loading up the ships. We're loading up the ships. We're going to do a complete decimation. And if we don't have a deal, we'll be using them, and we'll be using them very effectively. You're dealing against people that don't know whether or not to tell the truth. To our face, they're getting rid of all their nuclear weapons. Everything's gone. And then they go out to the press and say, no, we didn't. We'd like to enrich, so we'll find out. This comes after J.D. Vance flew to Islamabad to negotiate a final peace offer after a 2-week ceasefire was reached on Tuesday, alongside Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Mr. Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. I would be very worried, personally. I would be very worried for the safety of these people in Islamabad, because Islamabad is not really a safe place for Westerners. You actually got a YouTube notification tonight. They must be off tonight. Must be. This time, Trump really means it. I hope so. I can't figure out how Iran mined everything with U.S. watching. Something don't make sense. Representing Iran are Foreign Ministers Abbas Araghchi and Parliament Speaker Mohammed Bagher Alef. Discussions are expected to hinge on Iran's handing over roughly 450 kilograms of enriched uranium and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Mr. Vance warned the Iranian regime not to try and play us. If the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand. If not, they're going to get the pimp slap. Pakistani Prime Minister warned peace talks could be jeopardized by ceasefire violations that took place earlier this week. He said violations of ceasefire have been reported in a few places across the conflict zone, undermine the spirit of the peace process. I earnestly and sincerely urge all parties to exercise restraint and respect for the ceasefire for 2 weeks as agreed upon, so that diplomacy can take the lead role. Trump warns of fresh strikes on Iran if talks fail. It's the same thing, really. Trump says military is loading up the ships if the peace talks with Iran go south. Wow. Interesting. Here's a little secret. Iran's government lies. Don't tell anybody. Things haven't made sense for a long time, like when the Russians said they were using mobile crematoriums in Ukraine and us never seeing piles of bodies. Yeah, I remember in Nam we had body counts every day. Yeah, something, what's going on? He's ready to use the military to resume strikes if Iran peace talks are not successful. Yeah, World War II had bodies everywhere. Yeah. So we saw this. We're loading up the ships. No deal will lead to the weapons being used very effectively. So they're traveling to Islamabad. I hope they're safe. We're going to find out in 24 hours. Iranian side negotiations will be represented by Parliament Speaker Mohammed Bagher Quailabef and Foreign Minister Arabas. We saw all this stuff. So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Roaring Lion, Israel at war. Same thing. They're reloading the best ammunition. So that's what they're doing. They're reloading. All right. On to this next story. Next order post. We were going to wait until just before the California governor primary to nuke Eric Swalwell out of the race with my recordings of him inebriated with lobbyists at dinner. But now that his demon rat friends are calling him out to drop out, I guess I don't have to wait. Stay tuned for a drop in the coming days. Swalwell spent his dinner bragging about orgies on Capitol Hill, telling them he's bored with his wife and only wants to F10s. Worse, he spoke about abusing his power on the House Intel Committee, which he's since been booted off of, saying he pushed a subpoena of Ivanka Trump because she's hot as F. This guy must be removed from the Homeland Security Committee. He cannot keep his mouth shut. After I began questioning him, Swalwell jumped back into the group of lobbyists to hide from me, but I pressed on. Dude looked absolutely terrified and 100% guilty. He knows he's been caught.
So, Congressman, you referred to Elon Musk as a fascist at some point and alluded to him being a national security threat. Do you see that more of a national security threat, you sleeping with a Chinese spy, than transparency in the federal government? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? What's Fang Fang think of that?
What are you doing?
What's fascistic about exposing government corruption? I mean, I know you're just at dinner now with a bunch of lobbyists. They're buying you a bunch of booze, and that's awfully nice. I know you were talking about, maybe finding somebody else because you only like to fuck people that are tens. I just heard that one too. So what do you think about that? Do you want to comment on any of it? Elon Musk is a national security threat, but you sleeping with a Chinese spy is not. Is that correct? You don't want to comment on that at all? Looks like guilty as charged.
Wow. I mean, that wasn't very much there. Wasn't very much there. We got this. Look at lethal blow. California Teachers Association says the allegations are incredibly disturbing and unacceptable against Rep. Swalwell. We are immediately suspending our support. Our elected board will be meeting as soon as possible to follow the union's Democrat process to determine next steps. Wow. Oof. Oof. California Teachers Association suspended its recent endorsement of Rep. Eric Swalwell for governor after a former staffer publicly alleged sexual encounters and 2 assaults while intoxicated, calling the claims disturbing and unacceptable. CTA representing... damn it. Damn it. I lost it. How did that... Why won't it show me the conversation? What the hell? Anyway, I can't believe it's doing that to me. All right, we'll just do this one then. Never trust the Pakistanis. They hid bin Laden. Yeah. Swallow swell is done. Bring a fork. That's why you always stay friends after sleeping with them. Don't mistreat anyone. Think of the big head and the little head. Yeah. Fang Fang was hot. China is pushing Iran to the table. Iran finds out they have no allies. Nancy Pelosi called him out. That's a big deal for the Dems. Yeah. For Trump to do what he's done to international bankers and military industrial complex had to get their profit, and the nuke threat had to be neutralized. Yeah, Swalwell will just be replaced by another piece of shit. Did Swalwell just get Chavez? Sure looks like it. Sure looks like it. Swalwell represents the literal worst of the worst in modern liberal politics. He pretends to be Mr. Nice Guy, Timu Gavin Newscomb, which he is not even good at. And the whole time he's embezzling money, molesting staffers, taking money from cartels, and who knows what else. Hope he rots in prison with some overly friendly cellmates who think he's cute. Accusers include dozens of interns, several male escorts, 4 midgets, a horse, and 3 goats. Oh my God. What? Witnesses can identify opposing tattoos on his inner thighs of Adam Schiff and Ted Lieu. What? This is crazy. Did I hear right that MTG is joining the left calling for 25th Amendment on Trump? Yes, you heard right. 3 million neurons a milliliter. Woot, woot. That's crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff. Sleazebag Rep Alex Swalwell's California governor campaign implodes after former aide accuses him of sexual assault. Calls for him to resign. A former staffer has accused far-left California Rep Eric Swalwell, a leading candidate in the race for governor, of sexual assault. It sounds like Marjorie Trader Brown has gone mental. No viable Democrats left on the California ticket. Well, there is that crazy Katie Porter. A woman who worked in Swalwell's office for nearly 2 years told the San Francisco Chronicle that he began contacting her shortly after she was hired at age 21. She alleged the relationship escalated from private messages to physical encounters. The accusation follows days of speculation that various women were preparing to come forward. Well, thank you so much, Lurch. Yes. Thank you so much, Lurch. I got $5 on Cash App from Lurch. That means we are now just $90 away from adding a first additional hour to the show and only $40 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much, Lurch. Yes. What's the over-under on days Swalwell withdrawing? Probably pretty soon. The accusation follows days of speculation that various women were preparing to come forward. I thought MTG was done in January. She's done. She's out, but she's still talking shit. Political reports that Swalwell's gubernatorial campaign is already imploding as a result of the allegations, with multiple staff resigning in anticipation of the Chronicle's story. Crazy Porter is not credible, and Kamala is saving herself for another presidential run. According to her account, Swalwell sent explicit messages and later initiated sexual contact during a work-related travel. She claims 2 incidents amounted to sexual assault, alleging she was too intoxicated to consent. Why didn't she say something at the time? Why does she still have a voice? Because people are amplifying her voice. Swalwell has denied the allegations, with his legal team even issuing a cease and desist letter accusing the woman of making false statements and warning of possible legal action. These allegations are false and come at the eve of an election against the frontrunner for governor. For nearly 20 years, I have served the public as a prosecutor and as a congressman, and have always protected women. Yeah, so did Bill Clinton. I will defend myself with the facts and where necessary being acted. Eric Swalwell cease and desist the women who came forward to share their accounts in the middle of the night. The women alleged that in 2019, after a night of drinking, she woke up in Swalwell's hotel room with signs of sexual activity she could not recall consenting to. Well, that would be a problem. They've appointed a Republican to take MTG's place, forgot his name. No, there's going to be a special election for MTG. There's no one in her seat right now. If Dems are turning on Swalwell, it must be some serious shit that they can't even defend. Yeah. Democrats are the one amplifying MTG's voice, not Republicans. Yes, it's Code Pink. She's teamed up with Code Pink. The news, drama, gossip machine runs wild. Everyone makes money, hype, baby. Yep. She also described a second alleged incident in April 2024 after meeting Swalwell at a charity event where he took advantage of her while severely intoxicated. I mean, if it happens more than once, is it really? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't believe that those we disagree with should be shut up. No, I don't. Bergdorf his ass. In the message reviewed by the Chronicle, she later wrote she had been sexually assaulted and blacked out. I woke up once during it and I even told him to stop at one point, she wrote. Uh-oh, that's not good. Some Republicans have been sounding like Democrats, and I'm not talking the politicians. Yes. MTG is a new Hillary. She just won't go away. The media loves her now, and she's talking shit about Trump. She's so stupid. She believes they like her and that she's relevant. Pathetic, really. Yeah, she's going to go the way of Liz Cheney. What happened to Liz Cheney? Where is Liz Cheney? A lot of rich men are ripe for the picking. Yep. Eric Swalwell has taken a page out of the Trump playbook by attempting to silence women. Today we learned he is intimidating survivors, serving cease and desist letters on those coming forward with stories of sexual harassment and abuse. He set this threat in the dead of night. Yeah, closer to Liz Cheney. Yeah. Sounds like very poor choices. It does. The Chronicle reported that a friend and her then boyfriend said she appeared disoriented the next morning. Medical records show she later sought pregnancy and STD testing. MTG wanted a job on cable news or The View. Yeah. Swalwell, who served in Congress since 2013, is a leading candidate for the California governor. He also denied separate allegations circulating online, calling them false. A notorious sleazebag, Swalwell always has a history of eroticizing violence against women and once had an affair with a Chinese spy named Fang Fang. Liz Cheney looks like Lon Chaney. His hair was perfect. No one is taking me up on betting on Swalwell, Jim. What do you want to bet? Oh, let's bet when Swalwell quits. I'm in days and weeks and donations to Jim. I think it's going to be. I think it'll be sooner rather than later that he'll be out because his money's going to start drying up. No one is shutting anyone. I'm against that too, but MTG is too dumb to go away. Know that her 50 minutes are over. Liz Cheney is taking care of her cats. What's up, Grizzly McThornbody? How you doing? Disturbing sex acts claims leveled at Eric Swalwell as he issues furious denial. The other leading Democrat is Tom Steyer, and he's a full-on commie. Yes, and a lot of people are saying that Tom Steyer is the one backing all the stuff and putting it out and paying the money and doing things. Like Nancy, who learned from her dad, Big Tommy, corrupt mayor of Baltimore, 4759. Liz learned from her daddy, Cheney, the tricks of the trade for being a corrupt politician. I totally agree, Greg. Totally agree. Yes, we have to get out and vote in the midterms. Yes, we do.
You've never had a sexual relationship with a staff or intern?
No.
That's what we're saying?
Yes, that's false. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any response to Sheriff Peterson?
You've never had a sexual relationship with a staff or intern?
No.
That's what we're saying?
Yes, that's false. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any response to Sheriff?
A former staffer for Rep. Eric Swalwell has reportedly accused the congressman of sexual assault and taking advantage of her over the course of several years. Allegations the Democratic frontrunner is denying as false and politically motivated. The woman who worked for Swalwell for nearly 2 years said the most serious incident occurred in April 2024 when she alleged he sexually assaulted her after a charity gala in New York, according to a report published Friday by the San Francisco Chronicle. The woman, who was not named in the story, said she became heavily intoxicated while drinking with Swalwell late into the night. Now, here's the only thing. Now, I'm not defending Swalwell, so don't think I'm defending Swalwell, but I'm going to say this. If a woman was out with a guy in 2019 or whatever it was, or whatever the first one was, and she said she was drunk, she woke up in his bed and remembers saying no, all this stuff, then why would she be drinking with him later? This is something that, to me, that makes me go, wait a minute. You know, that's all. And I'm not defending Swalwell. I hope he goes down. Marjorie Smith says Clay Fuller won the special election to replace Marjorie Trader Green in April. Thank you. Black Rock should be broken into Pebble Rock. Yes. The woman who was not named in the story said she became heavily intoxicated while drinking with Swalwell late in the night and has only fragmented memories of what followed. She recalled being in his hotel room, pushing him away, telling him no, as he allegedly forced himself on her. But that's supposedly the second time. I woke up once during it and even told him to stop. She wrote in a text message to friends days later. The woman said she woke up the next morning disoriented with vaginal bleeding and bruising and believed she had been assaulted. There was no doubt in her mind that Swalwell had forcibly had sex with her. He's married. He shouldn't be drinking with anyone but his wife. Yes. Tom says, I agree, Jim. This whole deal seems fishy. Where was this info during the house run? Seems fishy. That's all I'm going to say. The bombshell allegations come as Swalwell's lawyer sent a threatening letter to individuals accusing him of non-consensual sexual encounters, warning that he could sue for defamation over rampant online rumors about alleged inappropriate behavior with women, according to a document posted online. But he promised not to do it again. Okay. If she was being accosted, why didn't she call 911? Yeah. Sex and drugs and Capitol Hill, disgusting. STDs at an all-time high. It has come to our attention that you made false statements accusing Mr. Swalwell of sexual assault and non-consensual sexual encounters. Read the letter from attorney Elias Dabé, who posted on X by the Democrat activist Cheyenne Hunt and confirmed by the LA Times. First page of the cease and desist letter from Swalwell's team has been shared with permission from the recipient. Well, here's the thing that I would ask. How would he know who to send the letter to if the woman wasn't named unless he knows who it is because he knows what he did? She shouldn't be drinking with a married man? He just looks smarmy. Yeah. Mr. Swalwell takes these allegations seriously, both because they are false and because they are being injected into a gubernatorial campaign. Oops. Poll read, which Hunt said was sent at least two individuals. So two individuals. So he didn't know who was saying this, so he had to send it to two different women. What does that tell you? That he sent it to two different women. So there's two different women that can accuse him of this? Is that what we're hearing? Does that make sense? He looks like a Neanderthal. I don't like Swalwell, but I don't like one-sided BS either. That's what I'm saying. You know. The letter raised the possibility of a defamation lawsuit, writing that the recipients who have not been identified are subject to liability for defamation. The letter follows a tide of rumors circulating by Hunt and other Democrat activists that Swalwell sexually harassed female staffers, even allegedly forcing them to sign NDAs to muzzle them from speaking about their experiences. Anything left just can't be right. Rand Paul ain't no Ron Paul. That's true. Rand Paul ain't. The rumors have swirled around Swalwell before. Yeah. The woman who accused Swalwell of sexually assaulting her said she began working for his 2019 presidential campaign after graduating from college. She was later hired into his Castro Valley district office. Within weeks, Swalwell began messaging her explicit photos and requesting nude images, which she said she provided in part out of concern about upsetting her boss. We had an Idaho congressman got prison for the same exact thing, drinking and grape at a political conference. I mean, here's the thing. If their photos exist, it's a problem for him. During a car ride after a donor event in San Francisco, she said Swalwell tried to kiss her and suggested their online exchanges had been leading to that moment. In another instance, weeks later, she alleged he exposed himself in her car and asked for oral sex, which he began to perform in a parking lot before stopping out of fear of being seen. So that sounds consensual. I don't know, right? If somebody whips it out and goes, hey, suck on this, and the woman goes, okay, and goes down, I mean, how is that rape? Right? Am I wrong? That's not rape. I tossed a captain's plate of spaghetti on a boss that got handsy when I was young. That's a sexual harassment suit. It can be, yes, a sexual harassment suit, definitely. But I mean, to say that, I don't know. The woman also described a September 2019 night out in Pleasanton where she said she'd been drinking before meeting Swalwell and consume more alcohol at his urging. Only stopped for fear of being seen. Yeah. She told the Chronicle she became so intoxicated that she doesn't remember leaving the restaurant and later woke up naked in his hotel bed. She said she could feel the effects of intercourse but did not recall consenting. She said she recalled Swalwell sucking on her toes and was disgusted. Swalwell, she said, sent her to work the next morning and became distant afterward, leaving her feeling unsettled by the encounter. So could this possibly... Oh, God, I'm not defending Eric Swalwell. Jesus. I'm not defending Eric Swalwell. But this almost sounds like she was mad because he got distant with her afterwards. I don't know. He was her boss. If he sent her nudes, it's a sexual harassment. Yes, I agree, sexual harassment. But once you consensually... I mean, I don't know. They have to come forward, not like the Epstein women who should come out and point out their rapists or sit down and shut up, like Melania alluded to. Yeah. Like Bill Clinton couldn't keep his penis in his pants, even in the Oval Office. It's truly sick. Happy Florida girl says she had regrets. The WMF and Fed ghouls are eating your capital flesh. There's clearly smoke here, and the question is what kind of fire is beneath it, says Larry Gertson, professor emeritus of political science at San Jose State University. There's no question about it. He's now on the defensive. He has to be, and that alone will be difficult for him. Politico reported on Friday that at least 4 people have quit Swalwell's campaign as a result of the allegations, including strategic advisor Courtney Pugh. Last month, Hunt began posting a series of TikTok videos warning that an investigative report about the East Bay rep's alleged misconduct was about to drop. It's about to drop. It's about to drop. When I came forward about Eric Swalwell. Swalwell forcefully denies the allegations earlier this week, slamming the chatter as false, outrageous rumor. Greg says, what's that age-old adage about two to tango? Age-old saying. There's never been an allegation and there's never been a settlement, said Swalwell. Asked if he's ever had sexual relations with a staff or intern, Swalwell's told the Post, no. The allegations against Swalwell, a leading Dem in the governor's race who's racked up endorsements from the powerful unions and fellow lawmakers, has sparked infighting among Democrats. Well, we saw one powerful union back away from him. I still have a problem with our commander-in-chief doing that to an intern in the Oval Office. Oh, yeah, that was wrong. Just another poor, innocent, abused lady. Swalwell is married to Brittany Watts and has 3 children. His rivals, including former Rep. Katie Porter and former Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villagrosa, whatever his name is, were quick to attack Swalwell after the rumors surfaced. With regard to Congressman Swalwell, I've seen allegations coming from women staffers. They are very, very, very troubling allegations. Other Dems dismissed the rumors as part of a plot to take down a leading candidate, including that Hunt was working on behalf of a rival campaign. Also, this is the girl Hunt. Hunt pictured with former Rep. Katie Porter, one of Swalwell's campaign rivals. Now, here's the thing. If this is all coming because from this dirtbag Katie Porter, who's a real piece of shit, then this is how scumbags get away with crap. Many are victims, but one lies, and because one lies, all others are not believed. When your boss asks for news, report him and tell him no. Yeah. Recent polls conducted before the investigation published showed Swalwell, Steyer, and Porter leading among Dem candidates. Former Fox News host Steve Hilton, who nabbed President Trump's endorsement, has led most recent surveys, racking up close to 20% support among California voters. The woman who has now come forward in detailing allegations of Swalwell said she was reluctant because of the power he possesses as a congressman. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Leslie Ann? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Spuds, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. She looks like an American version of Fang Fang. She does, right? I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be the one. I never thought anyone would believe me because of how powerful he was. I knew any police investigation would be made public, and I was still protecting myself and in some ways him. Just like Epstein celebrities, Rolo billionaires. She said he sent pics to her. Yes. I don't see Monica's centerfold. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, those pictures exist. If she has the pictures he sent to her, was she wearing the blue dress? I don't know. Monica Lewinsky's. Okay. Okay. What is this? If Eric Swalwell expects us to believe he's innocent of sexual harassment allegations, this did not help. Certainly does appear to be raining crap all over Eric Swalwell, and we'd be lying if we didn't think he deserves this and much more. Yeah, we're petty that way, but considering what a miserable boil on the butt of humanity this guy's been for decades, we just don't have any respect for him. Why doesn't she send those to the news? She should. Yeah. Oh, well, we believe all women, right? The fact that he's denied the claims, insisted that this is some MAGA plot, and it's now going after the women, trying to pretend it's some conspiracy against him because he scares Trump is not great. But add that to the fact he started to cancel town halls claiming he's not feeling well. Eric Swalwell is canceling a town hall in Palm Desert because he's sick. The timing of Swalwell's illness sure seems convenient if he's a guy looking to avoid questions from the audience. Oofa. Let me see here. 1 second. Okay. I like the tone of this story. Yeah. Just saying. Time for Eric to man up. Support survivors, believe survivors. We are with you. What do you know? Yeah, because of all of a sudden, everyone knows that he sexually harassed a bunch of women. Word on the street, Swalwell's going down tomorrow. All the popcorn. This is a local news station. 4 women described sexual misconduct by Eric Swalwell, including a former staffer who says she was raped. A former staffer accused Eric Swalwell of says that Congressman raped her when she was heavily intoxicated. If you prosecute those on the top, the system will collapse. Quoted fake news Chicken Littles. Good. Swalwell getting the Cuomo treatment. I pushed him off of me saying no, the woman said, which said she happened in 2024. He didn't stop. She said it was the second time in 2019. So 5 years. 5 years. Oh, man. We saw all this stuff. The 3 other women who spoke with CNN also alleged various kinds of sexual misconduct, including Swalwell sending them unsolicited explicit messages or nude photos. All right, here's the thing. If a bunch of women show up with nude photos of Swalwell, he's toast. He's toast. Like, share, subscribe. Unlike Swalwell, Jim won't ask for nudes if you do or don't. Yes, I know I don't. I don't want any nudes. Everyone is replaceable. I have met Cuomo numerous times. He really has a fragile ego. One woman who connected online with Swalwell over interest in Democrat politics says she ended up extremely drunk inside a hotel room after a night out with the congressman, with little memory of what occurred. Earlier the night at a bar, he kissed her and touched her leg without consent. Yeah, Democrats have a history of lying to discredit their political opponents. Another woman who described receiving unsolicited nude messages from Swalwell was a social media creator, Ali Samarco. She said she initially reached out to the congressman on Twitter to discuss politics. I truly never thought he would respond. I had like 1,000 followers at the time. He actually responded. Swalwell denied the woman's allegations. Yeah, flat broke. After leaving the White House, remember Hillary's statements about the victims. Yeah, Jim has asked me for feet pics for liking. Uh-oh. No. Hello, actually, I'm feeling terrible. We got to keep going. Cuomo saying, I told you so. All these conservatives who are leaving MAGA are completely insane. They're basically admitting to everyone that it was a good idea to vote for a felon who was found. Hey, how's it going, chat? How you doing tonight? Great to see you. Yes, take your country back, live free or die, taxation without representation. These allegations are false, and they come on an even election. For nearly 20 years, I've served the public as a prosecutor, a congressman. Yeah, whatever. Attorney for Swalwell sent 2 women who CNN spoke with cease and desist letters. Yes, don't come. Hey, we've been going an hour. Kavanaugh, ring any bells as to a demon rat strategy? It's good to see everybody. We've been going an hour. I just want to point out that we still are. Oh my God, we are still $90 away from adding an additional hour to the show and 40 away from, do we have trolls? Maybe, I'm not sure. I still haven't figured that out yet. The letters have said the woman's claims were undermined by their voluntary and cooperative relationship with Mr. Swalwell over the course of many years. One member of Swalwell's staff said they quit immediately after receiving CNN's detailed list of questions about the allegations. Two family members and a friend said in interviews with CNN that she told them about the assault in the following days. Well, that's hearsay. I tried to rally us, Jim. I know, Sheila Marie. I know. Women also shared medical records relating to her receiving STD and pregnancy tests after the assault. For the women who connected online with Swalwell over Democrat politics, a family member and 2 friends confirmed she told them last year about the incident where she ended up intoxicated in his hotel room. CNN also reviewed messages between her and Swalwell, including a photo he sent her that matches footage of him during a CNN interview in her city on the night they met in person. The woman described a similar pattern of event with Swalwell, who is married and has 3 children, showed close interest in their lives, and they were in their 20s and finding their footing professionally, making them feel special and even starstruck. Then they said he would send them increasingly sexual messages. Many said they reciprocated and engaged with him in part because of his position of power. In some cases, those appropriate exchanges escalated to alleged unwanted physical touch or sexual assault, even tied to episodes of heavy drinking. Wow. Kumo liked to surround himself with this undercover trooper detail. I and other state workers were directed to fill seats at a presser. I wore a jacket and tie and was mistaken for a trooper. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Wow. That we activate Bellavision for the evening. Thank you so much, Renee Collins. Let's see who got those. Let's see who got those. Sheila Marie received a gifted membership from Renee Collins. None Your Business, Leslie Ann, The Finch, and No One From Nowhere, 99, all received gifted memberships from Renee. Thank you so much, Renee. That means we are now $60 away from adding an additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. That is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much. That's all I can afford until May. No, thank you so much, Renee Collins. It's so great. Thank you so much. Bella time, yes. Joe says, bad week. This is all I got tonight. Help me rally. Thank you, Joe. That from Joe, that means we are now 58 away, just 58 away from adding an additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. If CNN turning into the Dr. Ruth show, I don't know. And then here's Terry. I'm with you, Joe. Thank you, Terry. With that means we're just 56 away, folks. Just 56 away from adding an additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Wow. And then America First goes $55 away. Actually, we're not. We're less than $55 away. Thank you so much. That means we are now just $51 away. Just $51 away from adding an additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. And then this, Rally Time, $2. Thank you. Means we are just $49 away. Just $49 away from adding an additional hour to the show. Thank you. I just went to Google to look up Tara Reid. Can't tell me that MSM isn't biased. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Let me be clear. It means I'm lying. Definitely. Definitely. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Yes. Oh, crap. Here we go. Not crap. I shouldn't say crap. What's going on here? So, hold on. Oh, and we got another. Terry says, thank you. Yes. And then here's Spuds goes, Rally Time again. Thank you, Spuds. Oh, thank you so much, Spuds. That means we are now just $47 away, just $47 away from adding an additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Oh, man. And then Clam, 4119, comes in with 5 Jim Tells You membership. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, that means we are now just $17 away, just $17 away from adding an additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much. Wow. Let's see who got those memberships. It says Adrienne and Gavin, USMC Canoe, Michael Williams, Ellen Cow, and Bushmaster all received gifted memberships from Clam 4119. Thank you so much, Clam 4119. Wow, and then we got another 10 from Dan. Thanks, Dan. The other Gagax, Dan. That means we are now just $7 away, just $7 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. And then look at this. We got 5 from Sheila Marie. I'm betting 5 for Swallow Kidding within 7 days. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means we are now just $2 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. And then Sunshine comes in with the
tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
With that $2 from Sunshine, that means we are now $100 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much. You're so generous. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Sunshine. Thanks, everybody. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am not a thief. Yes. To say starboard, all aboard, dodge the pillar waves like a sword. We slice and twice to make no mistakes. We made. Hoorah. Saudi money to the USA was seed money for Iran war. Ooh, could be. What breed is Bella? My grandma says she has an Irish Lantern Whiptail. Bella is a Staffordshire Terrier, American Staffordshire Terrier, what is commonly referred to in the modern parlance as a pit bull. A pipple. Pipple. Finally caught back up now. I can't believe you were defending Eric Swalwell. I know. I can't believe it either. I knew we could do it. Tee-hee. Thank you. Rudd, thank you all. Yes, Rudd, thank you. No early out tonight, young man. No, we'll be here a little while longer. Happy Friday. All made it through another week. Blessed. You deserve a little. Thank you, Clam. Thank you. And we have Bellavision. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Thank you all for donating. Say no to communism. That's right. Say no to communism. Yay, now we'll all have to do it all again. Yeah, well, here's the thing. We got almost 2 hours. We got like 2 hours to hit another 100 now. And then we get another hour. So it's like the first hour is over. We got 2 more hours to go. Right there. Good to go. So the women asked not to be named out of fear of retaliation by Swalwell or professional consequences for speaking out against them. CNN reviewed screenshots of dozens of messages Swalwell exchanged with the women, many of which are flirtatious in nature. None of the messages reviewed by CNN are sexually explicit. The women said Swalwell generally sent more graphic messages via Snapchat where the messages are automatically deleted. So they don't have any of the messages? Eric sure farts well. Yeah. So they don't have the naked pictures. They didn't take pictures, or they didn't screen cap them. Yes, definite helicopters. We love helicopters. Allegations come as Swalwell, congressman from the San Francisco Bay Area, former presidential candidate, fixture on cable news, has ascended into polls for California's governor race. Too much news to leave early. That's right. That's right. Rumors about misbehavior by Swalwell have circulated on social media in recent weeks, broadcast by a group of progressive social media influencers. Most of the women who spoke to CNN initially reached out to one of these influencers and said that for the social media attention, they had assumed they were alone in their experiences with Swalwell. Bella is a credit to her breed. Yes, she is. She's a very, very, very good girl. She is. She's a Betty good girl. Can we play White or White Not game later, Jim, since we have time? I think we'll probably play a little. Greg McNeely says, I wish that I could send a $100 super chat, but I had to recently fly 2 daughters to attend their row funeral. Oh, my God, from fentanyl, laced marijuana. Oh, dude, Greg, prayers for you and your family, man. Oh, my God. That is horrible. That's horrible. I lost a cousin to fentanyl a couple of years ago. Wow. Prayers, man. 3 key influencers told CNN that they were not being paid by other campaigns and had not coordinated directly with them in publicizing claims about Swalwell. This has always been about getting justice for these women and exposing the truth. Cheyenne Hunt, a lawyer and former congressional candidate who shared messages highlighting allegations about Swalwell on social media. CNN also spoke to other women who work for Swalwell and said they had never had any appropriate interaction with him, and some of them describing him as a supportive and caring boss. But several of the women who made the allegations about Swalwell said the congressman's actions had long-term implications on their lives, leaving them confused, distraught, and scared. They said they decided to come forward after hearing rumors that they were not alone. I always felt like if I came forward, I was going to suffer the consequences because he was so powerful. I live in fear every single day. It's just become a secret that I lived with. The former Swalwell staffer said she started interning for him in 2019 when she was 20, fresh out of college. Fresh out of college at 20? Sounds young, right? I wonder, did she drop out of college or only go for 2 years? Maybe she only went for associate's degree 2 years. At the time, Swalwell was a rising star in the Demon Rat Party, a former prostitute who had defeated a 40-year incumbent to win his suburban San Francisco Bay Area congressional seat. Swalwell made a name for himself as a member of the House Intelligence Committee as an outspoken opponent of Donald Trump. April 2019, Swalwell launched an underdog presidential bid pitching himself as a generational change agent. Inspired by his focus on gun control, the woman moved to California to join Swalwell's campaign as a junior staffer. I just believe that he had so much to offer. Yeah, sorry for your loss too, Rudd. Too many, it is. Too many people. Everybody, it's like, everybody knows somebody, right? Dude, I just remembered I had lunch with a friend today who told me her sister was doing paid surrogacy for a couple in China. What the crap is going on? Yeah, it's going on like crazy. You had a BS at 20? Bachelor's of Science? Okay. I mean, I guess if you went in, I guess you can do it in 3 years, right? So if you went to college at 17, you could get it at 20. Yeah. You're not off. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's crazy what's going on. As the woman who was then 21 began to work more closely with Swalwell, planning events, arranging his travel, and driving him around his district, he struck up a personal relationship with her. She said Swalwell, who was 38, praised her work in the office, bringing her to meetings, introducing her to political figures. When he talked to you, it was like the sun was shining on you. You felt like the coolest person in the room. You could take certain college credit classes in high school now. Oh. He made a name for himself. Liar. Yeah. Open borders, crime, Dems, completely responsible. I had no idea they could dream up a replacement plan. You ain't kidding. Gypsy said, so sorry, man. Lost my niece to fentanyl lace crap, too. two began messaging each other on Snapchat. On that platform, she said Swalwell began making sexual comments and sent her photos of his penis and of him shirtless. He also asked her to send him photos of herself, including nude photos, which she did. She said she found the attentions flattering, but also felt nervous because he was her boss. The woman's mother told CNN that her daughter told her some months later that Swalwell was communicating with her over Snapchat, that she and her husband found it inappropriate. But the woman didn't tell her parents at the time the messages were sexual. Because the messages on Snapchat were automatically deleted, she said she had no screenshots of the exchanges. There was Eric, the Snapchatting guy, and then there was Eric, my boss. The former staffer said it was like two different people completely. In 2019, when she was driving Swalwell around his district as part of her staff duties, he told her to stop in a parking lot, pulled out his penis, and asked her to give him oral sex. She said, then she briefly complied before stopping and telling Swalwell she was uncomfortable. Communism disguised as liberalism, greenism, and a donkey. Yeehaw. Yeah. Lots of states have programs where you can go to community college, get a high school credit. Also for it, you finish your 2-year by 18 and uni by 20. Okay. It's very convenient. Very convenient. He said to me, you're right, it's probably not good for a congressman to be caught with his pants down. In September 2019, she was alone with him at a bar in her district after a casual gathering, and I was really, really drunk. She remembers getting an Uber, and then the next thing she remembered, she woke up in Swalwell's hotel room, naked in bed with him. I know that there was sexual contact because when I woke up, I could feel that there was. Swalwell told her that last night was great, but she should get going. That day, she was scheduled to accompany Swalwell to a hike with your congressman event at a local park, a listing of an event that appears on Swalwell's congressional page. At the event, she remembered I could still feel physically what happened to me, but she and Swalwell ignored her, treating her like someone who was never seen before in his life. My oldest granddaughter did that. She's 26, will have her PhD in civil engineering this year. In the dark blue state of Washington, anyone can take a running start classes for college credit. They really relax academic merit because of such low test scores. Oh, man. My advice is completely avoid university. I'm here completely out of spite at this point. Fentanyl LDs have precipitously declined since Trump closed the border and Border Patrol jamming all the drones carrying fentanyl over the border. Scott Adams lost his son, too. Wow. I wonder if anyone in the hotel remembers them or if there's security footage of them entering together. Or was it a Snapchat hotel? Some of those women give that scumbag an out. Yeah. Later on Snapchat, she said Swalwell was much friendlier, telling her how nice their sexual encounter was. I said to him, I really don't remember it all. And he was like, well, next time you'll have to make sure you remember it. Sex is a natural act. Well, it used to be. Yeah. The former staffer said that she didn't tell anyone about either instance. I just felt so dirty and gross, and it just became a secret that I lived with. She said it wasn't clear to her at the time that she had been sexually assaulted, but she later realized that the encounter was not consensual because she had been so intoxicated. Thank you. I'm so sorry to all. A group on Facebook is supportive as the chat helps to follow late night. Oh, well, thank you, Rod. It's never natural when the man has money. Swalwell gradually began Snapchatting her less frequently. She said she moved to a new job in Swalwell's Washington, D.C. office and left for a new job about a year later. But Swalwell stayed in touch with her, she said, recommending her for jobs, messaging with her from time to time. The former staffer said she tried to stay in touch with Swalwell because of his status as a congressman. Then in April 2024, when the former staffer was 25, Swalwell was invited to speak at a gala in New York City that she attended. CNN reviewed video of Swalwell's speech at the event and a photo of the woman there. The woman said she decided to get drinks with Swalwell because he was a powerful person in her field. The two got drinks at Swalwell's hotel and a nearby bar, and Swalwell was totally professional, she said. Federal campaign spending records show that Swalwell's congressional campaign frequently made purchases at both locations she named. After the gala, she said they met up with some colleagues and then sent Swalwell a Snapchat message inviting him to get another drink. One of the colleagues she was with told CNN that she told him at the time that she was going to get a drink with Swalwell. The colleague asked not to be named. When Swalwell came in a car to pick her up, he put his hand on her leg and said, no funny business, like, that's not what this is, she remembered. And then he was like, okay. But then over drinks, Swalwell told the former staffer that he'd been obsessed with her and he'd never cheated on his wife except with her. She said, I guess I liked the attention, but I never wanted to sleep with him again. As the night progressed, she said the two went to another bar and continued drinking. She said she was heavily intoxicated and doesn't remember leaving the bar. The next thing the staffer remembered, she was in bed with Swalwell in the hotel room. She was having sex with her. She said she remembers flashes of the evening of him on top of me pushing him off, him grabbing me. I was pushing him off saying no. He didn't stop. That doesn't sound good. I mean, if a girl says no and pushes you off, you should probably get off and leave. She had been wearing a dress she needed someone else to zip, so she wrapped herself in a blanket, ran out of the hotel. She took the first cab she saw back to her own hotel, and then she quickly called her mother, who confirmed her account. My vagina was bleeding the next day after sex. I had cuts and bruises on my body. When she looked in the mirror, I could see the bruises of where his hand had been on my rib cage, and on my legs, near my thighs. Swalwell messaged her on Snapchat today saying that the previous night was great, and she hoped she remembered it this time, and telling her not to tell anyone. She told her partner that Swalwell had assaulted her when she returned home that day. Her partner confirmed it in an interview, saying she was just so distraught. She also told 2 other friends about being assaulted. Well, then why didn't somebody call the cops? And both text messages changed. She referred to the same thing happening to her in the past, writing one message. This happened one other time when I was working for him. Same pattern. I blacked out and he had sex with me. Vince says, real salt of the earth guy, this Fartwell fella. Why would you get that drunk with someone that's already hitting on you? That's what I'm saying. Her story doesn't make a lot of sense. She might be, I don't know. Had bruises of the Snapchat pictures on, had pictures of bruises on Snapchat, but they got deleted twice. Yeah, the same thing happened twice. Wanted to keep her job. The second time, she wasn't working for him. Hank says her story doesn't have to make sense. Okay. Several days later, she went to a health clinic and got an STD test and provided screenshots showing that the appointment. Look at the one that got Trump. Yeah. This chat is the best, and Jim, you're a great host. Bella is the star. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rod. She said she told the medical provider that she had been assaulted by a congressman, and the provider at the clinic referred to her as a survivor in an online message about the test results. She said she never confronted Swalwell directly about the assault or reported to police, in part because she believed him when he told her he hadn't made sexual advances towards other women. I kept figuring out ways to blame myself. I shouldn't have reached out to him at all. I should have left. I shouldn't have done this. Well, Eric shouldn't have raped me. In February, as his campaign for governor was picking up steam, Swalwell and his campaign manager both texted her, offering her work for his campaign. Screenshots she provided to CNN, she declined. I was always living a huge secret. I'm not speaking up because I'm looking to ruin Eric Swalwell. The only person who could ruin Eric Swalwell is Eric Swalwell. All you did was harm me. Another woman who had an interest in Democrat politics said she began messaging Swalwell online in 2025 after responding to one of his Instagram stories. A couple days later, she said Swalwell followed her and encouraged her to get involved in politics. He later sent her his phone number. She said she was shocked that a congressman was paying attention to her. In spring 2025, Swalwell said he happened to be coming to her city and asked to meet. He asked her for suggestions for a hotel and places to go. Swalwell said, and the woman met for dinner and drinks at a steakhouse. She said she told her mother about the meeting with Swalwell in advance, and her mother confirmed that in an interview with CNN. Swalwell asked her about her work history and what seemed almost like a job interview. Partway through their conversation, Swalwell told her that he had to do a CNN interview and went back to his hotel room. And he was waiting for his live TV hit. Swalwell texted her a photo asking how he looked, according to a screenshot she provided to CNN. The fat photo matched Swalwell's appearance in an interview, and Swalwell also told the CNN anchor that he was visiting the city where the woman lived, according to CNN's recording. Afterwards, Swalwell took the woman to another bar where they sat in a back booth. She said he was sitting against me, and I was kind of moving away, and every time that I would move away from him, he would get closer to me. He touched my leg and ordered a drink for her. The woman said she tried to turn the conversation to her partner and Swalwell's wife and children, but Swalwell continued to touch her. She began to get more intoxicated and felt really fuzzy, even accidentally walking into the men's bathroom in the bar. Yeah, Ray's right. Women always say no, to me at least. Yeah. Swalwell is a scumbag. I think he is. I definitely think he's a scumbag. I do think he's a scumbag. After she returned to the booth, Swalwell kissed her. She said, I was shocked that he would do this right in the middle of a public bar. She said she told him it was wrong, but didn't want to burn a bridge with a prominent congressman. Greg McNeely says, Flipping brain is complex. Multifaceted memories are definitely suppressed for survival. Master's criminology psychology. Male feminists, man, are always the R wordiest. Yes, they are. Wonder if Swalwell has a prescription for roofies. Critton probably hypnotize her. Portland State University. That sounds like a roofie. This story has a hint of BS. It does sound like, I mean, that sounds like a drug as opposed to alcohol. I mean, although if you drink a lot, you will get a warm, fuzzy feeling. She decided to stay at the bar even as she was getting more intoxicated. The woman said she ended up in Swalwell's hotel room without any memory of how she got there. She said that her memory of what happened in Swalwell's hotel room was a blur. She ended up leaving the hotel at 5:41 a.m., according to a screenshot of an Uber receipt she provided to CNN. Wow, this woman kept all this stuff. This woman kept all this stuff. Swalwell sent her disappearing iPhone voice messages saying that he wanted to ensure that his wife didn't find out about what happened. How do you send somebody disappearing iPhone voice messages? How does that work? How does that work? I didn't think that was possible. Renee says, I used to drink a lot. I never went into the men's room. Sounds like she has evidence. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. She felt emotionally vulnerable, distraught in the following weeks, telling her mother about a month after the fact what happened, and later telling two close friends. All three confirmed in CNN interviews which she shared a story with them. Maybe it's her cereal trophy. Schnapple. Obviously a hit piece, but nobody deserves it more. Yeah. She said she told Swalwell she felt really disgusted and ashamed about what happened, but he continued contacting her, including offering to use his position to help her renew her passport or saying he could write a letter of recommendation for her law school applications. Well, that's real sleazy. A few days after he announced his gubernatorial bid, he texted her asking how she was, according to screenshots. The following month, she sent him a long message telling him that all you did was harm me and asking him not to contact her again. I won't bother you again, Swalwell responded. Sorry. The woman said she continued to stay in touch with Swalwell after that. Wait a minute. She sent him a message saying, don't bother me. All she did was hurt me. And he said, sorry, I won't contact you again. And then she kept in touch with him. I mean, I know this is like messy stuff, but I don't know, man. I don't know. To me, it sounds weird. But I guess I'm a weird person. Women love these stories and read all the romance novels. This woman likened it to Stockholm Syndrome. Wow. What do you know? She knows the word Stockholm Syndrome. And in a cease and desist letter to that woman, Swalwell's lawyer argued that some of these text messages, including the one in which she said, you would be an amazing governor, raised doubt about her account. You are inside a woman's brain reading the way she sees things, Jim. I don't know. The woman told CNN she decided to speak out about what happened after hearing rumors about other women. Yes, 304 culture makes this. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes. After realizing she wasn't alone, I suffered a lot of silence, and I had no desire to ever come after him or come out and say anything. Yes, all claims need evidence. Yes, need evidence. Two other women told CNN that while Swalwell had sent them unsolicited photos of his penis and other sexual messages on Snapchat after connecting on social media. San Marco said she first connected with Swalwell after messaging him on Twitter, asking him about a history of growing up in a Republican family. They began texting. He offered to share her resume with other congressional offices to help her get a job on Capitol Hill. Eventually, San Marco said Swalwell started texting her late at night to ask personal questions. He sent her a photo of himself drinking wine at home. One screenshot she provided CNN shows Swalwell musing whether he should pour a nightcap and telling her, the influencer, now you're near the bad angel tempting me, when she said he should. In another message she showed CNN, he asked, are you on Snap? Starting in September 2021, she and Swalwell exchanged messages on Snapchats almost every day. Swalwell became very inappropriate, like saying about how hot he thought I was, insinuating that we should get together and hook up. He was always like drunk texting me saying, oh, I'm having a drink. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm out with my friends, like I'm 24. Congressman sent Smarko selfies of himself in bed or shirtless, as well as unsolicited photos of his penis. So what's known as the dick pic. Swalwell asked Samarco where she lived, she said, and then ran by her apartment building several times, stopping to say hi and giving her hugs, but not coming inside. Swalwell also gave her a personal tour of Capitol Hill. Their contacts fizzled off when Smarkle met her boyfriend, now her husband, in December 2021. Swalwell tried multiple times to message me on Snapchat again, and I just won't respond. They maintained some contact in the recent years. Then in November 25, the same month, Swalwell announced his gubernatorial run. He messaged Smarkle again, congratulating her on social media dominance. Another woman who works in marketing said Swalwell first reached out on Twitter in April 2021 when she was 27 after he liked several of his posts. When someone like him starts talking to you, it's like, why is he interested in me? They messaged on Snapchat. Conversation became flirty and sexual after about a month. Swalwell often requested swimsuit or nude photos, which she sometimes sent. He sent her several videos of his penis, which she did not ask for. Says, what the F? Iran was nominated in the UN to help shape policy on women's rights, human rights, disarmament, and terrorism. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like, who came up with this? This is nuts. She never met in person, but messaged him on and off for 4 years. She said Swalwell usually initiated contact. At some point, Swalwell offered to help her with her career. In one flirty exchange reviewed by CNN, Swalwell complimented her on a swimsuit photo she'd shared on Instagram and said it had been too long since they'd last messaged. That swimsuit, fuck, he wrote. CNN spoke with two friends who said the woman told them about Swalwell sending her images of her penis and sexually explicit messages. Yes. People like ugly stories and gory car crashes. Yeah. One friend also said they reviewed a Snapchat video that wasn't sexually explicit that Swalwell sent to her. The woman said she felt embarrassed and kind of ashamed. When you're getting unsolicited dick videos sent to you, it just might kind of feel like I'm lesser than a person. I just wish I had never answered him. I don't know. I don't know. Then I got this. Calls mount for Swalwell to resign, drop out of California governor's race. You had enough of this story? Okay. Well, this is this is now people calling on him to resign. It's kind of different. So I want to cover that, some of the stuff.
Major breaking news this afternoon. New report of sexual assault allegations against Congressman Eric Swalwell. Today, the San Francisco Chronicle releasing details of 2 alleged non-consensual sexual encounters with a former female staffer.
Numerous people are now calling for him to drop out of the race for governor and step down from Congress. ABC 7 Eyewitness News political reporter Monica Madden is here with the latest. Monica.
Karina and Larry, Congressman Eric Swalwell has denied the accusations, but that hasn't stopped his gubernatorial opponents and other top leaders in the Democratic Party from lining up to call for him to drop out of the race.
The San Francisco Chronicle reporting accusations Friday of inappropriate conduct and sexual assault of a former congressional staffer. The report alleges that Congressman Eric Swalwell began pursuing her within weeks after she was hired at age 21 to work in the Democrats' district office in Castro Valley in 2019. According to the report, Swalwell messaged her on Snapchat, she said, sending images of his genitals and seeking nude pictures of her in return. The former staffer reportedly said that in 2019, he tried to kiss her in her car when she drove him home from a donor meeting and asked her to perform a sexual act, which she says she did. The woman also told the paper Swalwell invited her out for drinks and she became so severely intoxicated that she does not remember the rest of the night. She says she woke up naked in a hotel bed with the congressman. She believes they had sex. The Chronicle also reporting that 5 years later and no longer working for the congressman, the woman says she ran into Swalwell at a charity event, saying they met.
No. I'm not going to come back in an hour like Nick. I have a refrigerator right there with drinks in it. I used to have to leave. I moved the refrigerator in here, one of them little refrigerators, to keep drinks in there. That way I don't have to leave to get another drink. Jim's giving a full load of Swallow now. I just want to cover some of this stuff. The people calling for him to resign is all. That's all. Guess he didn't have to force her to give him a head in the car. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
drinks, during which she became so inebriated that she only remembers snippets of the night, including pushing Swalwell away and telling him no, while he allegedly forced himself on her. KGO has not independently verified the allegations made to the Chronicle. Swalwell has denied any inappropriate behavior, telling reporters on Tuesday,
"Did you ever behave inappropriately with female staffers?"
No, it's false.
Today, the congressman doubled down on his denial, saying in a statement, quote, "These allegations are false and come on the eve of an election against the frontrunner for governor. For 20 years, I have served the public as a prosecutor and a congressman and have always protected women. I will defend myself with the facts and, where necessary, bring legal action. My focus in the coming days is to be with my wife and children and defend our decades of service against these lies."
Wow. All right, so there's that, and then this is from the Hill. It just says Swalwell loses campaign chairs, endorsements over sexual assault allegations. CNN says Democrats withdraw endorsements of Swalwell and demand he end bid for governor. All right, I got this story here. FedEx killer Tanner Horner jurors hear audio so gruesome that local news cuts away from feed. Yes. Metro Pat Hacker. Yes. Yeah, Christy Nome was unaware of her husband's fetishes. Apparently, she didn't know him very well. No. Yeah, I'm hearing reports that's why she got fired. That came out. Stuff like Trump, they found out about it, and that's why. Not gonna lie, that was great, Schadenfreude. Yes. What is this? What is this, an ad?
2026, the global financial system officially shifted. While the main...
A jury in Fort Worth watched several hours of interrogation as confessed killer Tanner Horner talked about kidnapping and strangling 7-year-old Athena Strand. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager.
I'm Heather Hayes. Now, during those interviews, Horner talked about being a father himself, and he made a very unusual request. Fox 4's Dion Anglin has been in the courtroom, listened to all of it. She joins us now with more. Dion.
Yeah, that's right. Hours of interrogation video. That is how the day began. The jury watching that video. It was followed by the lead investigator breaking down what the jury had watched. Now, first, Tanner Horner asking to spend Christmas with his family, and then responding to whether or not he's remorseful for killing 7-year-old Athena Strand.
If you can somehow give me a month just to be with my family, that one last month, if you can talk to somebody, that's all I want. I just want to be able to have one Christmas. I can't promise you anything. I know you can't promise. I can't tell you that that's even possible. Tanner, are you remorseful for what you did? Obviously, you're telling me you're crying, but I mean, I'm a father. I took a I took away something from someone.
Now, lead investigator, Texas Ranger Job Espinoza answered questions about that particular interview with Tanner Horner. The defense team then on cross-examination told the jury that basically Horner was indeed remorseful and that he had attempted suicide.
Were you aware that he attempted suicide in the Wise County Jail in May of 2023?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Throughout the interrogations, Tanner also spoke to you about his suicidal ideations. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you learned that he had previously tried to hang himself.
Yes, ma'am.
You would agree with me that he told you several times that he felt bad about what had happened and expressed, he may not have said, I feel bad, but he expressed his emotions about what had happened.
Oh my God, I'm going bald.
Yes, ma'am. I did not believe him.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Sustained. Yes, ma'am.
When he was arrested, he didn't put up any resistance.
Correct.
When you took him out of the jail, he didn't put up any fight or any resistance.
No, ma'am.
When you walked him around the bamboo forest, he didn't try to run or escape.
No, ma'am.
He was respectful to your authority, was he not?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, throughout the video and testimony today, Horner sat without any visible emotion or expression. Several other law enforcement officers have testified as well today. And Horner's alter ego, a fictional identity he called Zero, was again part of the testimony from that interrogation. Horner faces a possible death sentence.
I hope so.
For the abduction
I
and
fucking
murder
hope
of
so.
7-year-old Athena Strand. He kidnapped her from her Wise County home in November of 2022 during a delivery stop. Now, his attorneys say that he is on the autism spectrum. They also point out that he has severe brain damage and his life should be spared.
Oh yeah.
Give me a moment.
No, I don't think so. I don't think his life should be spared. Who thinks his life should be spared? Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. Thank you, Julio, for $10. That means that $10 means we are now just $90 away, folks. Just $90 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much. So generous, especially my friend Julio. Thank you so much, Julio. Gotta love crazy humans. Only women that don't accuse him, Joe. That's right. Thank you so much, Julio. Hank, it was probably the husband's dog. Is anyway, Jim. Thanks, mods. Good night, peoples. Have a great, nice weekend. Thank you, Hank. Thank you for being here. Yes. Why is that guy not feet first to wood chipper? Is it the rental fee? I got it. Order it. Yeah. Well. Worked with these Pedros. Only therapy is Fargo justice. Toes first. Slow speed. I only have 2 words. Wood chipper. Everyone's a professional, even the prostitutes. Yeah. What's up, Lady Bama? Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Say getting bald instead. I think that cut was from Thursday. Autism card. Yeah, you believe this shit? Bullshit to his autism. Yeah, right. They have to bring a little Sparky back and allow me to pull a switch. My son is autistic, and he knows that you don't hurt people. Yeah. I have an autistic child. That's not an excuse after this guy. Hamburger Helper. Howdy all. Howdy, Jim. Well, thanks for being here, Hamburger Helper. That's what I say. So, Dallas-Fort Worth broadcast briefly went dark as 7-year-old Athena Strand's final moments were played during a murder trial for days. So they actually have. Bella needs a good belly rub. Oh, she does, doesn't she? The pics from his place are gross. Pigsty. Jurors on Friday were shown disturbing photos of a bungee-like cord and rope found inside a truck used to abduct a girl. Other disturbing evidence presented during trial, including hours-long video footage reportedly showing Horner, 34, strangling the young girl to death. The station did not share the footage in its feed. Horner was seen closing his eyes and bowing his head as some of the gut-wrenching evidence was shown to the jurors. How is this guy still alive? The range delivery driver admitted to killing Strand in his FedEx truck before heartlessly tossing her body into a nearby creek. Horner first lied to police, claiming he accidentally ran into the girl with his truck before accidentally killing her in a panic. Just get in the back of the van. You're going to the hospital, Horner told investigators, he said, of their final exchange while denying that he killed the young girl. FedEx really, we know it's BS. They always say that, don't they? Hate it. FedEx really screens their employees, don't they? A wood chipper is too nice. Yes, it is. Didn't this guy know that everything was on video? I mean, it's all video. If he's that stupid, he needs to be removed. Why are people evil? I don't know. Later, he told police his alter ego, Zero, was the one who killed the little girl. Horner has pleaded guilty to murder, and jurors must now determine his sentence. He faces the death penalty or life in prison without parole. This is why I don't open the door for packages, just leave them on the porch. You ain't kidding. Wow. On to another sicko. Newly released search warrants reveal Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson damning handwritten note to his trans furry lover, Lance Twiggs. Newly released search warrants reveal Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson, damning handwritten note to his transgender lover, trans furry, Lance Twiggs. Robinson fatally shot TPS USA founder Charlie Kirk on September 10th during a event at Utah Valley University. Robinson was charged with aggravated murder, felony reckless discharge of a firearm, felony obstruction of justice, witnessing tampering for asking a roommate to delete incriminating messages, witness tampering, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. Utah prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. On Friday, a newly unsealed affidavit revealed that Tyler Robinson wrote a handwritten letter to his live-in lover, Lance Twiggs, a.k.a. Luna, in which he admits to a plot to kill Charlie Kirk. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Cook, and I took it. Investigators also recovered DNA and a palm print on the roof of the Lucy Center building. Yes, he confessed like 3 times, note, text message, Discord, and probably to his parents. Yeah, but yet you got people out there saying that he's a patsy. Says, well, this chat blew my VA therapy today out of the water. Are you okay, Greg? They are contracted employees, trucks that FedEx paints with their logo. I'm watching the trial. Okay. Is there a video of this stuff? I mean, I hate when they do this. Is there a video of this? Handwritten letter from Tyler Robinson to lover confessing to taking out Charlie Kirk. Is there a video of someone about this? I mean, Robinson made similar declarations on Discord to other friends. Wow. Utah investigators seek records from Discord related to Kirk assassination suspect. So they sent an affidavit to obtain a search warrant. Showed that the SBI is asking Discord to provide names and server IDs from servers with the names Craftopia, Gaiman, as well as the corruption. I have bad news. It was me at UVU. I'm sorry for all this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been so amazing. Thank you for everything. So, I mean, I don't understand how anybody can say that it wasn't him. At this list of Tyler Robinson items seized, the ATF. Oh, before I say anything on this, I better check with Candace. Oh, shit. Oh, you're right. Did I hear that the ATF said the bullet that killed Charlie was not from a 30-06? I did not hear that. I've never heard that. That's not what I heard. I heard they said they could not confirm that it was inconclusive whether or not it came from his gun. That's what they said. That's the only thing I've heard. So do you have some other information? I listen to news all day, Jim, so I know most, but that's okay. I still watch your news. Well, thank you, Sheila. I appreciate it. Greg says, I'm okay. Love your chat, but these stories, I'm taking notes.
Fox 13 found 16 search warrants released last month onto a Utah State Court's database. The warrants offer more insight into messages sent between Tyler J. Robinson and the roommate he had a romantic relationship with, including a note Robinson allegedly left for the roommate, who then gave a copy to an FBI agent. Warrants include this full text of that note. Luna, if you are reading this per my text, then I am so sorry. I left the house this morning on a mission and sent an auto text. I am likely dead or facing a lengthy prison sentence. I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I took it. I don't know if I will/have succeeded, but I had hoped to make it home to you. I wish we could have lived in a world where this did not feel necessary. I wish I could have stayed for you and lived our lives together. I lack the words to express how much I love you and how very much you mean to me. Please try and find joy in this life. I love you, always, Tyler.
Well, it's a confession.
Ann Bremner is a former Seattle prosecutor.
That's a
Among
confession.
other clients, she went on to represent the parents of missing Utah woman Susan Powell.
So, full confession to somebody that he cared about deeply, and I guess wanted to explain what he did, but he seemed to be okay with what he did.
I think this gives you kind of the context of the text messages that jumps out, and I'll tell you why.
Defense attorney Mark Garagos has represented the Menendez brothers, Scott Peterson, and others charged with murder.
People always want to hear, jurors especially, from the accused. And here you've got text messages, which, if you believe it, are in real time, and that is significant.
The warrants also detail what, with a judge's permission, the State Bureau of Investigation seized from Robinson's home in St. George: .30-06 ammunition, including a cartridge that apparently had test shot etched on it. That's the same caliber as the rifle police recovered from near Utah Valley University and believed to have killed Charlie Kirk. According to the warrants, detectives also seized a variety of computers and digital devices from Robinson's home. Investigators also received permission to take from Robinson's person, from DNA samples to the clothes he was wearing when he surrendered, right down to his underwear. Judges also gave permission to search email accounts and text messages belonging to both Robinson and the roommate. Only a fraction of those messages have been made public.
The entire affidavit is a wealth of information. And frankly, at first it looks damning, but there's plenty here for the defense to work with. If you think you've got a shot of winning the case or hanging the case on the merits, on guilt, on the killing, then you're going to have a completely different approach than if you feel like that's not going to work. You're going to cast that as an opportunity to show the jury why he did it and why they should not take his life.
We've compiled a list of what was searched and seized. You can read it on fox13now.com. In Orem, Nate Carlisle, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Wow. Is there a second video here? Below is the list of the items. You guys want to see the items? What is this? What is this an ad for?
Her son's live. After he stopped talking, she went looking for answers.
Do you want to go play marbles? No.
Oh wait, no. Okay, this is a different story. Below is a list of items seized from Robinson's home. A Hurley hat, computer tower, gray Converse shoes, MacBook Air, 22 Henry rifle, 22 Winchester rifle, 22 Rossi long rifle. Come here, kitty, kitty. Raspberry Pi with a cell phone, USB on a backpack, targets, SD card, burnt note found on a trash, buccal swabs. The search warrant specifies the buccal swabs came from members of Robinson families. From Robinson's 2013 Dodge Challenger. Demon Rats will literally defend anything against a cult. If you're going to plead innocent, don't leave notes saying that you're going to do it. Yeah. I watched Return real time with Barry Cunningham, 5 p.m. my time. You're talking about the return of the Artemis? I love the news, have all my life, so I see things fresh starting early in the morning. Sometimes Joe's news is 2 or 3 O's, but I still like Joe. I try to do my best to have things that are like current for the day. But sometimes I see something that I didn't see previously, and I'm like, oh, this is important. I got to talk about this. So. So they a Camelback water bottle, wireless. So this is like buccal swabs from Robinson's person, chapstick, Converse shoes, blue jeans, gray socks. Seized electronic devices. They got a lot of electronic devices. Look at this. Tyler Robinson wants preliminary hearing delayed, claims evidence not shared. I mean, there was one thing where he was where he was like, it was like a hearing, and he was talking to his lawyer, and I heard him say how he can't sleep. All he does is think about the killing and this and that. So I mean, like, it's not something. This is from the Deseret News, which is like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So inside a newly sealed warrants in Charlie Kirk's killing case. And we got this, alleged gunman Tyler Robinson wrote in order opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, court documents. All right.
And Charlie Kirk's accused killer is expected back in a Utah courtroom today for a pretrial hearing. His attorneys are trying to get prosecutors removed from the case, claiming they have a conflict of interest. The defense is also trying to ban videos showing the killing of the conservative activist that went viral. ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmeyer is here for more on all of that. Hi, Brian. So what do you make of this alleged conflict that the defense is claiming the prosecution has?
Diane, I think it's an interesting argument and one that might have legs. Their argument being that one of the executive members of the DA's office, who's actually an assigned prosecutor on the case, has an 18-year-old son who was in attendance in one way, shape, or form when Charlie Kirk was allegedly assassinated. Now, the prosecution is saying that while that 18-year-old student, who is a child of one of the prosecutors, was there, they did not see a gun, nor did they see the shooting or death of Charlie Kirk. And so there should not be, in essence, a conflict here.
So what's the protocol for removing a prosecutor from a murder case in Utah? And what if the judge does it?
Yeah, so there are a number of different reasons why a prosecutor would have an ethical duty to step off of the case. Here, the argument is because the prosecution is not just charging Tyler Robinson for the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but also for putting all those in attendance in danger based on the shooting. If a prosecutor's child is one of those people in attendance and might have seen this incident, then they would be a victim. And a prosecutor can't ethically prosecute an individual in a fair and impartial way if their child is also a victim as well. And so they should, and that's the language, should step off. Now, if it's just a single prosecutor, the judge can remove that prosecutor and someone else from the office can go forward. Or if it's the entire office, then the judge can assign a special prosecutor to take on the case that doesn't have a conflict of interest.
Brian, the defense is also trying to block videos of Charlie Kirk's killing from being shown at the trial. Why try to block videos that so many people have already seen on the internet?
Short answer, it's bad for the defense. And so they're making the argument that you can explain this shooting through maybe a still photo or other means than to show this tragic killing of Charlie Kirk. Because in essence, the killing of Kirk will not be about the intent or the preparation or whether or not they got the right person. They're arguing that this video would inflame the jury to the point that they'll simply make a decision based on emotion, not on the facts or evidence of the case.
How strong do you think that argument is?
Not strong.
I think it's a relatively strong argument,
I don't.
but I think the prosecution has the leeway to say, hey, we want to prosecute the case we want to prosecute, and there is some value in showing the video. There might be just a limitation on how many times the prosecutor can show the video. Show it 3, 4, 5 times, but showing it 10, 20, I think the judge will say that's a little excessive.
So what are you watching for as this hearing plays out today?
So, Dan, there's supposed to be at least 3 witnesses that testify, including that adult student of the prosecution's team, or adult son or child, from the prosecution's team, who is going to testify. And I want to hear what they say, what they saw, where they were, and whether or not it creates a conflict.
All right, ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer, thank you.
Wow. Yeah, so. So he told his boyfriend, if this guy is smart, he would plead guilty. I am likely dead or facing a lengthy prison sentence. He's done. Robinson alleged fled the scene of the shooting, prompting a massive manhunt. He was charged with aggravated murder and all this other stuff. So, yeah. So, all right. So you guys said something about wanting to see the Artemis stuff.
Imagery from as Artemis enters the Earth's atmosphere and through parachute deployment. All of Integrity's systems are in great shape. The crew is ready to complete its mission just 15.5 minutes from now. All of the activities today have gone off in perfect fashion. No issues with the vehicle, no issues with the crew. And the weather at the splashdown site is go.
They're casting down on the bullet. The video has to be played a lot. Bad argument indeed. Door wide open. Yeah. Sheila says Barry's real America first. That's why I like him. He doesn't read. He doesn't read the news. Oh.
Coming up on 1 minute until entry interface.
1 minute. 1 minute till entry interface.
A 6-minute blackout.
We're at 400,000 feet, traveling 34,800 feet per second. No data from the anticipated of our trajectory of aircraft in the vicinity of the period of peak heating. The end of the
Integrity impact to the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
Integrity. We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of integrity. Time to splash down 4.5 minutes. And a view of integrity from the WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet. The pyros are armed for forward bay cover jettison.
There goes the
and there go the
bay.
first series of parachutes, and we're on drogues.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues out the window.
2 good drogue chutes. Next up.
We copy, we see them.
Next up, the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Perfect descent rate according to flight dynamics.
Good rates on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
There should be another parachute coming out soon.
Passing through 10,000 feet. Still on drogues. Main chute deploy.
Oh, it's not opening. It's not opening.
We're at 5,000 feet.
Okay, there it goes. Wow. That was scary looking. I didn't think they were going to open.
Beacon has been activated on integrity.
All right, there we go.
And we have 3 good main chutes. Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes.
Oh, that's cool. See, now if they would have took the SpaceX rockets, the SpaceX rocket could have just landed them themselves. They just came back in and landed,
Cabin
right?
pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity copies.
This is a perfect descent for integrity. Its crew sounding Hale and Hardy on board.
Yeah, I was worried there for a second too. It didn't look like they were opening.
Time to splash down 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Big Harry says, back to Earth and real toilets. The ISS is so close that there are places on Earth where you would be closer to the ISS
Integrity
than any
about
other
to
human
complete
on
a
Earth.
journey spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
Wow. What is that coming off of? Is that some flash, something like gases releasing from it? Is that gases releasing from the top of it or something? What the hell is that? That's weird looking.
On VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. Integrity's astronauts and the landing is down for Integrity and its four.
Wow. Isn't there supposed to be like something supposed to like floating thing? Isn't it supposed to like?
Integrity. We have you the same.
Oh, there they go to get them. Oh. Get them out. All right, cool.
Basically a bigger waiting room for the astronauts to.
From one of the personnel on the front porch.
All right, cool. All right. Awesome. All right. All right. On to this story now. Mm-hmm. Heat shields burning. I think it is supposed to make sure the ship doesn't spin. Okay. They all made it back to the medics on a ship. Government contracts are still awarded to the lowest bidder. All right. Epstein survivors issue bizarre response to Melania's Trump statement. Epstein survivors issued a bizarre response Thursday to First Lady Melania Trump's firm denials of any ties to sex predator Jeffrey Epstein and her call for Congress to give the victims a protected public hearing. A fire in Ontario, California? Oh, God. That's not good. The First Lady issued a formal statement in which she firmly denied any ties to Epstein. I've never been friends with Epstein. To be clear, I never had a relationship with him or his accomplice. We saw this yesterday. I mean, we're not going to watch it again. Survivor Coalition fires back. First Lady would also urge Congress to provide victims with a protected public forum platform. For some reason, demanding an open forum like that, as Ms. Trump stated, would give each and every woman her day to tell her public story, triggered a response that seems rather absurd. I think most people missed it, but the highlight of the space flight was when the pilot, Tyrone, grabbed the white chick's ass in space. What? A joint letter released hours later, representatives for a coalition of survivors and family members of Virginia Giuffre rejected Trump's remarks outright, insisting her comments were a deflection of responsibility. How is it deflection of responsibility? First Lady Trump is now shifting the burden onto survivors under politicized conditions to protect those with power. The Justice Department, law enforcement, prosecutors, the Trump administration. So I'm going to come right out and say it. I don't believe any of these women now. Any of these women. I don't believe any of them. If they're refusing to come and name names and they're going to try to push it off, like, who has responsibility except for the people who hurt them? If there's other people to be named, those are the people. Said $15 an hour wasn't enough to live on. You're talking about the fire in California? That is preposterous. And to be clear, this isn't a criticism of survivors or victims, but rather a criticism of whoever is representing them and allowed the statement to come out. It's clear they didn't listen to Melania's remarks and instead rushed to politicize it themselves. The First Lady did the exact opposite of what the letter is alleging. Far from dodging accountability, she explicitly offered to help the survivors by demanding they finally be heard. She offered to help them. She said they should be heard. She advocated for them. This is such a bizarre response. Political commentator Paulette Bunny said from our sister site, Twitchy. This guy, Jim Acosta, is a fucking joke. Asking them to say who hurt them is a deflection of responsibility. How the fuck are you going to prosecute anybody if they won't say who touched them? So they're liars. They're all liars. That's all. They're liars. In short, by using her platform, she did far more than some other people, their ability to help the cause. If I was one of those victims, I would sing like a bird and write a tell-all book. We're going to have to take a pitchfork to the Tech Bros mansions after welfare-free money. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give the victims an opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the full power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have their day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered in the congressional record. Then and only then will we have the truth. Not sure how that amounts to a deflection of responsibility. It's a direct demand for accountability. It's crazy. Hello. Hello, what are you doing? Hello. Hey, what are you doing? Come here. Stop. You're going to make that ear. You got to stop rubbing the ear. Yeah, damn lawyers always get in the way. I didn't say anything, but I did, while we were watching the Splashdown, I did restart another goal for another hour on YouTube. We are 90 away from adding a second additional hour. Just letting everybody know. What's it say? Atari Z? Yeah, the game company had a comment about the Artemis mission. Well, I guess I have to look at that to see what it is. This is what Atari says. Congratulations to Artemis 2 team on a safe landing. Congratulations. That was a great landing. That's awesome. Yeah. What's the word? Universal basic income and replace all jobs with robots. Yeah. Bella. This is from The Hill. Epstein survivors pan Melania Trump's statement, say it diverts attention from Bondi. Like, survivors of the convicted sex offender lambasted Melania Trump's denial that she had any ties to him, saying it diverts attention from former Attorney General Pam Bondi's handling of the Epstein files. Why do they care about the handling of the Epstein files? Wouldn't they care about justice? If there was somebody else that did something to them, wouldn't they? Are these just people looking for names so they can accuse the people? They don't have any names, so they want names so they can get people to accuse. Bella's left ear is bothering her. It is. She has a bad ear infection. I've been putting medicine in it. I don't know. It's really bothering her tonight. She has an itchy ear. Yeah. Oh, it's bleeding. She's scratching so much it's bleeding. What are you doing? I'm gonna have to put some more. She's gonna make me chase her around and put stuff in it. Thursday's statement was signed by 15 names, including 2 listed as Jane Doe. Melania Trump is shifting the burden onto survivors. Fuck these people. As far as I'm concerned, they can all go fuck off now. And then NPR says survivors have mixed feelings on Melania Trump's call for hearings. Well, that's just too bad, isn't it? And then we got this. The Oversight Committee responds to Melania Trump's call for Epstein victims to testify before Congress. Must be draining. Yeah. Because the victims became perpetrators because they enjoyed the lifestyle. Oversight Committee chairman said he agreed with Melania Trump that there should be a hearing for the victims. Yes, I've always planned on having hearings with the victims. There are some victims who are willing to come in. Most victims aren't, and I completely understand that. But we've always planned on having a hearing with Epstein victims once the depositions have been completed. So we have still got some more high-profile men that are coming in. Then I agree with the First Lady. We will have hearings. One demon rat congressman even went further, saying Melania Trump herself should testify. Melania Trump must testify as what she knows about other men who raped or abused the survivors, says Rokama. How the fuck would Melania Trump know anything? That's just crazy. Reactions poured in the day after the First Lady's stunning statement on Thursday, distancing himself from the dead billionaire. Several victims of Epstein spoke up, as did author Michael Wolff, who exchanged numerous emails with Epstein, is now locked in a legal battle with the First Lady over some of the allegations. I can sympathize with Bella, had chronic ear infection until my late teens. I am not an Epstein victim. I've never had any knowledge of Epstein's abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his island. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Many Democrats applauded her call to action, echoing her desire for a public hearing. Republican Nancy Mace, who has criticized the president for not moving faster to release information on the case, praised Melania Trump for standing up for the victims. Martha McCallum beat Ro Khanna up in that interview you saw 2 days ago. Any chance of Republicans winning California? No. No, California has jungle primaries, and then the top two people go on to the general election. So you're going to have at least one Democrat, and it's the Democrat's going to win. I mean, that's just the bottom line. As a survivor, this isn't political, it's personal. When the First Lady of the United States stands up and demands justice for Epstein victims, it's truly monumentous. These women deserve to be heard. Today they were, she said, whoever that is. Not all reaction to this was positive. Some victims were critical for her call to speak public setting. Many feel the government did not take their case serious enough. You didn't take me serious, so now I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to sit here and not do nothing. Yes, and then I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to tell you nothing. Oh, what's up, Steve? Take a few minutes and put some drops in her ear? I guess I could do that. I guess I could. Like, if I could find a video to play. I don't see anything to play. Let me see if I find something to play here. A video. Oh, let's do this one. So, a Biden judge gave Justice Kavanaugh's would-be assassin less time than J6ers received for trespassing. This is nuts, right? Maryland U.S. District Judge Deborah Boardman, and you might think it's Deborah, but she pronounces it Deborah. A Biden appointee is a national disgrace. She only sentenced 8 years instead of 30. Someone who attempted to murder Justice Kavanaugh and his family in their home. Make no mistake, today's Democrats want conservatives killed. Deborah Boardman, just another Democrat activist posing as a judge. Being of Palestinian descent on her mother's side, Judge Boardman was fascinated with issues related to the Middle East. Also, to use her talents to solve real-world problems and fight for social justice. That's who she is. And just remember this: Democrat judges gave a shorter sentence to a man who attempted to murder a Supreme Court justice than a woman who disputed the 2020 election. That's right. The woman who said, "Hey, there's a problem with the 2020 election," Tina Peters. She took some. You have to correct this. Looking rather large and in charge. That's better. Peters, who said that there was a problem with the election and took a copy of the stuff just so they could keep track of everything and there wouldn't be any mistakes and they didn't lose any information. She got 9 years. Sorry. So Pam Bondi says the attempted assassination of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was a disgusting attack against our entire judicial system by a profoundly disturbed individual. The Justice Department will be appealing the woefully insufficient sentence imposed by the district court, which does not reflect the horrific facts of this case. We were curious how they came to that. Yeah. So if you do the math, that's what they're. That's supposed to be what. Todd Blanche says this sentence was substantively unreasonable. An assassination plot against Supreme Court justice strikes at the heart of our republic, as Pam Bondi stated. We will appeal to correct this miscarriage of justice and defend the rule of law. This person says she's just another Democrat activist. Oh, we saw this poisoning as a judge. We saw this. The Boardman also cited President Trump's executive order from January 20th, which states that transgender inmates must be incarcerated in prisons that correspond with the gender they were assigned with at birth. Because this person just decided, Roski's disclosed in September, attorneys disclosed in September that he is transgender. I'm not gonna say she because it's not a she. Sorry, it's not. You don't get to pull that shit sentence to go to jail and then go, oh, I'm a woman now, so send me to a woman's prison. Here's the story. Justin would-be assassin sentenced to only 8 years in prison amid claims of transgender struggles. So that's what they listed as the social justice and the transgender struggles. Roski, who nowadays is Sophie and uses female pronouns, was sentenced to 97 months, roughly 8 years, in federal prison on Friday for attempted murder of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. It's a 30 years what it's supposed to be. 30-year sentence is what it's supposed to be. The sentence handed down by U.S. District Judge Deborah Boardman, a Biden appointee, comes despite prosecutors pushing for at least 30 years. Roski, then 26, traveled from California to Maryland armed with a Glock pistol, a tactical knife, zip ties, and other, intending to assassinate Brett Kavanaugh in retaliation for the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Roski was arrested outside the justice's home after calling 911 on himself, expressing suicidal thoughts. He pleaded guilty in April to attempted murder charges. During the proceedings, defense attorneys argued for a reduced sentence, citing Roski's mental health struggles, including depression and gender dysphoria. Says he grew up as a Christian conservative in a Christian conservative family. He battled with mental health issues during the COVID-19 pandemic, stopped therapy and medication, and began questioning his gender. Letters to the judge from family members highlighted how Roski's closeted transgender identity contributed to the breakdown and expressed concern about him being able to transition to a woman while in prison. So we're going to have to pay for this prison? Seriously? I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. Roski letter apologizing for his assassination plot. I am very sorry for contributing to a trend of political violence in American politics. I don't know if his was a trend. I think he's a trend. He was raised by conservative Christian parents who loved me and still love me. When Dobbs came around, I was in the closet and had not been taking medicine or going to therapy for 2 years. When the draft leaked, my self-esteem was at rock bottom, along with my hope for the future. So his relatives plead for leniency because he's transgender. Prosecutors, however, emphasized the gravity of the politically motivated attack, pointing to his online post discussing the potential impact of killing a justice and preparation for the act. They sought a 30-year sentence under federal guidelines, which recommends 30 years to life for such crimes. With good behavior, Roski could be out of prison in as little as 4 years. 4 years. But they sentenced those to 20 years and 30 years for not even going into the Capitol. Remember? Judge Boardman sentenced Rosie to 97 months prison, which is what his lawyers asked for. Sentencing guidelines called for 30, but she undid most of the terrorism enhancement. He could be out in 4 years with good behavior. Judge Boardman, who faced criticism for past rulings, including one against parents seeking to opt out of LGBTQ-themed school lessons, later reversed by the Supreme Court, opted for a lighter penalty. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said she will appeal the woefully insufficient sentence. The attempted assassination of a Supreme Court justice was a disgusting attack against our entire judicial system by a profoundly disturbed individual. The Justice Department will be appealing. Yeah. All right. That video is on my channel in its entirety. You can watch it if you want. Let's get back into the news. I put the drops in. I had to coax Bella back in here afterwards because she went and hid in her cage. Her kennel, whatever you want, her crate, whatever you want to call it. She went and hid there. went and hid there. So, yeah. So we got this. Comer responds, we will have hearings with the Epstein victims. Yeah. Ro Khanna, what a jerk. What a jerk Ro Khanna is. Okay, and then we got this story. The Trump administration reveals a massive 250-foot triumphal arch design. Uh-huh. No. Trump administration revealed designs for a 250-foot triumphal arch just outside Washington, D.C. on Friday as U.S. prepares for celebrations to mark its 250th anniversary. The neoclassical monument will feature a winged Lady Liberty statue atop of a stone structure and bear the golden inscription, One Nation under God, echoing the concluding words from the Pledge of Allegiance. Wow. Look at that. That looks cool. I got to say, that looks cool, doesn't it? Doesn't that look cool? Doesn't that look cool? How do I get this light? What? Wow, look at that. Oh, that looks awesome, doesn't it? That is awesome. Wow. That is awesome. Mm-hmm. That looks awesome. Mm-hmm. Wow. The arch is expected to be 250 feet tall. Golden lions will also sit at the entrance facing east, along with two enormous gilded eagles on either side. It resembles France's historic Arc de Triomphe, which is 164 feet high and would sit just across the Potomac River from the Lincoln Memorial, which is about 100 feet tall. The site of the Memorial Circle in Arlington, Virginia, is near the nation's national cemetery for military veterans, the Custis family mansion, Arlington House sits atop the hill at the west of the circle. Some vets have sued to stop construction of the project, arguing the arch, which President Trump is boastfully the biggest one of them all, could obstruct views of the graves of American fallen heroes. Yeah, okay, yeah. Some veterans are upset that the arch is going to obstruct views of graves. What? Views from where? Harris Design, which did not immediately respond to requests for comment, filed the renderings with the U.S. Interior Department on Friday. He's an extremely talented classical artist. A source familiar with the project previously told the Post his business was mainly sacred architecture. Weeks before Trump took office in January 2025, architecture critic Catsby Lay published an article calling for a Roman-style arch to mark the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. The president's also been planning on a mixed martial arts cage match featuring up to 25,000 spectators. Who has to approve that? I think it's already been approved. I think it was approved like many, many years ago, and they just never did it. You know what I mean? Like, because we're supposed to be, that's what Trump said. It was supposed to be something there. It was always planned. And it was on the thing, but they just never got around to doing it. Mm-hmm. I also read Epoch News, so I get it instantaneously. I pretty much know without hearing a clip of them saying even Barry will play clips as audience winces. The proposal comes after a federal judge halted Trump's $400 million project to build a grand ballroom next to the East Wing. Well, the judge said he was just stopping, but he didn't really. Into what have I belatedly stepped? Gundam Zig, we're just talking news. Just talking news. Construction has already started on the 90,000 foot structure to house a 25,000 square foot gold-tinged room for state dinners. The Oval Office and other rooms have also been adorned in the White House with gold finishings, mirroring Trump's pledge in the inaugural address that his second term will mark a golden age of America. Trump has also placed new statues around the White House grounds and paved over the Rose Garden to make it easier to hold events there. Oh. Hey, just done. Soul's Ginger. Great to see you here. Thanks for being here. And the black guy grabbed the white chick's ass in space. Okay. Faux news. Golden Eagles, Lions, Bears, oh my.
Shell Point redefines retirement living and the chance to be.
Oh boy, you're going to love this segment, everyone. In August, President Trump signed an executive order directing that this is my favorite executive order. All federal public buildings.
I believe you, B-Hops.
Classical
I believe you.
And not a moment too soon, considering what modern architecture has done to Washington, D.C. and beyond. Let's take a look at some of these hideous buildings. Starting off in the first two. And this is pure communist architecture. Department of Labor and the Department of, what is this? The Department of Education.
Brutalist.
Both of which are brutalist, anti-human, communist architecture. And then, of course, we also have the National Museum of African American History that looks like an asteroid from outer space landed and sort of halfway exploded.
It's an abomination.
An abomination.
Truly an abomination.
Yeah, that was
Let's
an
also
abomination.
look out in Chicago, where President Obama is creating his presidential center. This monstrosity that we keep tracking. There's actually people on the web that have compared this to the Star Wars Death Star building.
And he definitely does not love the South Side.
It looks like a giant concrete porta potty or a trash can.
They say architecturally, Charlie, it's modernist.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
porta potty.
We have Trump making architecture great again, trying to bring back classical architecture, and with his latest idea being the Arc de Triomphe that would meld in very nicely with the other monuments.
And he was asked, by the way, who would this, by the way, people are already calling it the Arc of Trump. Let's just admit that that's happening. And then they asked him, well, who will it be dedicated to? And he said, me. What's it in honor of? Me.
You look at the details that we know, modeled after French Arc de Triomphe, to be constructed on the Arlington, Virginia side of the Arlington Memorial Bridge, going to be part of the 250th and the gateway to Washington. This one's really interesting because I drive past Memorial, the GW Parkway, Memorial Bridge almost every day for the last 30 years, and there's just a roundabout with nothing but grass. And for years, no one's thought to do anything.
And he's been noting that.
Now, it would, as you look at that drawing up there, Charlie, as you see Mr. Lincoln looking across into Virginia, you now will have this Arc de Triomphe on the other side.
This will go.
All right. Let's bring in the Chief Protocol, U.S. Chief Protocol and Trump Administration Representative to America 250, Monica Crawley. Monica, this is really, we've been very excited about this because here again, President Trump steps in and sees something that will simply make Washington, our nation's capital, more beautiful, more special, more attractive. What can you tell us?
Well, good morning, guys. Yeah, this is one of the fantastic benefits of having President Trump, the builder, in office. So from reimagining the Rose Garden to adorning the Oval Office and the Cabinet Room with presidential portraits and gilded features, to creating the Presidential Walk of Fame on the Colonnade, to renovating the Palm Room, to establishing the two massive American flags on the north and south lawns, to the construction of a new White House ballroom, now to the new triumphal arc that he is proposing. All his ideas. President Trump never stops thinking about ways to beautify and improve the People's House, the White House, the People's Capital, Washington, D.C., and America more generally. You know what? Washington, D.C. is the only major Western capital that does not have a triumphal arch. And you never want to tell President Trump that America is the only country that doesn't have something beautiful and magnificent. So he has proposed this idea. It is going to be situated directly between Arlington National Cemetery and the Lincoln Memorial. And once it is built to commemorate America's 250th birthday, it is going to be absolutely spectacular.
Monica, why is architecture and beauty such an important part of a country?
Well, you know, we used to build beautiful things. This magnificent structure behind me, the White House, is absolutely gorgeous and historic. And over time, we've kind of lost that aesthetic of making our country beautiful. I think the last president to really kind of focus on this was President Eisenhower, where he wanted to beautify America's highway system and really put a lot of effort and resources into that. But again, you have President Trump in office, who is a real estate developer, tremendously successful.
The problem, Joe, with the arch is they said a couple of veterans sued saying that the arch will block the view of Arlington Cemetery. And I was like, the view from where? Like, what are you fucking talking about?
A builder, and he has such a keen eye for aesthetics and detail that I think when he first got to Washington, he looked around and said, "What's with all the Soviet architecture?"
Yes.
This is soul crushing. And we want to make sure that America's capital is a real gem, not just for the American people, but for the world. The world comes here as well.
That's right.
And he said, "I'm going to take it upon myself to make all of these renovations, to build these new structures, and to really beautify the people's capital."
Yeah, an executive order to get rid of ugly buildings. I'm so for it. Good on you, President Trump. And again, it sends a great message to the world. And truth and beauty go together. We love that. And we appreciate you joining us, giving us the lowdown.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you.
And helping us break down what our president is doing to make our capital, our nation.
Yep. So yeah, please announce the administration. So yeah, this thing is going to look beautiful, man. This thing is going to be beautiful. I don't know. Are they going to be able to get this put in? See, here's the cemetery. This is what I don't get. They're saying it'll block the view of the cemetery. Like, here's the cemetery here. The Welcome Center, Cemetery Metro Stop, Columbia Island, like Memorial Bridge, Lincoln Memorial, Military Women's Memorial. I mean, all this stuff. Like, I don't understand. Like, why? Why they're complaining about it. 250 feet tall. I think this will be awesome. I think this will be awesome. Now they're complaining about this. So the planned arch will be twice as tall as the Lincoln, over twice as tall as the Lincoln Memorial. No, how can we do that? Yeah. Expert news mode. Trump's making a top secret command center or something under the new wing. Yeah. How does it fit into the pentagram they got going there? I don't know. I'm simultaneously looking at houses in the free state of Florida as I listen to Jim. I'm living into communism here in the dark blue state under the Dems. Ugly as in. Take a look at the celebrities, listen to music, and tattoo culture vultures. Yes. If I was Trump, I'd quit tomorrow and tell the country I'll be gone as soon as you guys enjoy the upcoming communism ingrates. Cemetery is on a hill, so the arch will block it from a distance. The Swalwell's cooked. The Dems are going after him. They complain because it's Trump's idea. Trump's Washington arch plan includes golden winged figure, eagles, lions, and one nation under God. Oh, that Dems can't have that. Dems can't have that. All right, next story. U.S. Court of International Trade considers challenge to Trump's 10% global tariffs. B-Hop says, "Rent me a room, Shelly. I already know the area, and I'll teach you how to make me sandwiches." Like I said, the whiners about Trump body is said to forget how it was under the Dems. Benny knows he will probably go to jail if they have their way, and I am in the worst state of Washington. Beach party, yeah. But Trump is too big of a patriot to do that. Yeah, that is funny. Just venting. Can it be finished by July? I mean, I don't see why not. It's not like it's just a big concrete thing, it's just a big structure. So that shouldn't take that long at all. Really, it shouldn't. I mean, the statues might take a while, but I don't know. The Court of International Trade pressed Justice Department lawyers during oral arguments on Friday on a legal challenge to President Trump's 10% global tariffs. The lawsuit brought by 24 mostly Democrat-led states like Oregon. So wait a minute. So they're saying that Oregon is mostly Democrat-led? Really? That's it? Yes. Sheila, come here. Come join us here in the free state of Florida. They 3D print statues now. That's what I think. I kind of feel like I was hit by a truck. Not sure if it was a Mack or a Tonka yet. Plaintiffs alleged. Yeah, so this is funny though. The lawsuit brought by 24 mostly Democratic-led states like Oregon. How is Oregon only mostly Democratic-led? They opposed the new levies after the Supreme Court shut down reciprocal duties. The plaintiffs alleged the revised tariffs were implemented under a different law than the one at issue in the High Court's February 20th decision. Invoking Section 122 of the Trade Act of 74, Trump on February 24th authorized 10% import tariffs for up to 150 days to address large and serious United States balance of payment deficits. The president indicated he would hike the import to as high as 15%. Yes, I'm a vet. I don't have a problem with the arch. I'm a vet. I don't have a problem with the arch. Today is 30 days sober. Congratulations, SB Farmer. Nowhere from no one from nowhere. Hello, Jim. Been a while. Yes, and you got a gifted membership today. No one from nowhere. I can't remember if it was Renee or Clam, but those were the two gifts memberships. Renee gave out 5, and then Clam gave out 5. Thank you. Easy peasy. Yes. B-Hop says, I'm a former Boy Scout and I don't have a problem with the arch. Well, that's good. The founders chose Washington because it was a human mosquito-saturated pit and horrible. They never wanted the bastards hanging around the place year-round. That's awesome. The 3-judge panel declined to issue an immediate ruling, but a decision favoring the plaintiffs would likely prompt an immediate appeal by the Justice Department, potentially returning the case to the Supreme Court. I lost interest in the implosion 5 years ago. The IEEPA related decision has prompted additional legal battles over more than $170 billion in refunds. The IEP case turned on whether it authorized the president to impose tariffs. This case is nothing like that. This case has a statute that expressly allows the imposition of tariffs or quotas, so we're in a whole different universe now. This one turns on the balance of payments deficits, a term that was not involved in the other case. The other 2 judges, Chief Judge Mark Barrett and Judge Claire R. Kelly, both appointees of former President Obama, grilled the Trump administration lawyers over their stance on broadly interpreting the statute. If the fucking statute says you can impose tariffs, and he's imposing tariffs, that's not very broadly. Hey, look at this. Foxblade, what's up? Hello, how you doing? Long time no see, man. Glad you're back. Shoemate argued Friday that the language of the statute encompasses existing trade deficits as well, pointing to the disparities between U.S. imports and exports with certain nations. Hey, it says I got a rant. Rant. It says I got a couple rants here. Oh my God. Look at that. 1029. So that was a rant from a long time ago. Wow, look at this. I didn't see this one. Is it true that Iran does not own the strait, so charging fees is not allowed? That is correct. Thank you so much. And then West Pro, I'm here. What's been happening? Thank you, West Pro. That means we are now $80 away, folks. Just $80 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Thank you all so much for being so generous tonight. I've been working mostly with some political groups in my state to defeat the data centers, among other things. Oh. The president can also increase U.S. duties or add import restrictions to effect adequate compensation from such foreign country or instrumentality. Wow. Lawyers for the states, as well as spice importer Burlap and Barrel and a toy company Basic Fun, argued against a broad interpretation of the statute. Section 122 was codified when the dollar was still backed by gold and sought to address fundamental international payment problems caused by nations exchanging U.S. currency. Brian Marshall, who is representing the state of Oregon, wait a minute, 1974, we weren't on the fucking gold standard. That's bullshit. They're lying. We were not on the gold standard in 74. That's bullshit. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. They're all measures of capacity in the United States from central banking perspective to have the sufficient measures to maintain a fixed peg. Not something the United States has been in business of more than 50 years. The Oregon lawyer called for a permanent injunction. Of course they did. I like the Panhandle where Jim is, where Barry is, has too many Dems, and where I am too. Well, I don't know. Popeye wasn't a hero. He was a villain. Was Popeye a real person? Trade court judges sharply question Trump's backup tariffs. Federal court hears a new case on Trump's tariffs. Federal court hears new case on Trump's latest global tariffs. We got this Clinton judge rips Hegseth, orders Pentagon to restore press access. Have you seen the massive abandoned gold statue of Winnie the Pooh in the middle of nowhere, China? No, I haven't seen it. Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Stock up now. Yeah, do you know that last year was the first year in like, wow, many, many, many years that we didn't have any major hurricanes make landfall in the U.S. at all? Yeah, if you don't bother them, they leave you alone. Hurricanes are not weekly. Yeah. Hey, Vic Quinn, what's up? The Popeye movie with Robin Williams was said to have had cocaine shipped in with catering supplies. Wild set stories. Wow. Jim pronounces Oregon, Washington City's jargon just fine, even Willamette. Zero hurricanes. Yeah, zero hurricanes. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. U.S. District Judge Paul Friedman, a Clinton appointee on Thursday, once again sided with the New York Times and ordered the Pentagon to restore press access. Rah, rah, rah. Last month, Friedman ruled the Pentagon's new press policy restricting press credentials is unconstitutional. Pentagon reporters turned in their badges after they refused to sign Secretary of War's new security rule. Defense Secretary demanded that reporters agree by 5 p.m. to a new policy under which they needed to pledge not to obtain or use unauthorized material, even if the information is unclassified, or hand over press badges. Well, I mean, I think they should appeal this ruling because they chose today between signing a pledge and making it impossible to do independent journalism. Yeah, they need to do independent journalism by taking classified information and sharing it. Even the hurricanes don't mess with Trump. Are you aware of the engineered destruction of our meat industry by the big four meat processors and our own government in order to replace it with companies like Upside Foods, which they all have significant investments in? I've heard some stuff about it. I know there's been a lot of stuff been bought up and bought out, like Department of War. Yeah. Today's Defense Department confiscation of badges for virtually every major media organization it did because reporters would not sign a new media policy. The Pentagon press pool includes conservative outlets, including the Gateway Pundit. New York Times filed a lawsuit to stop the Pentagon from enforcing its new policy. Almost started killing ducks with a stick, but DeSantis set us ice and MRE, so we just cooked all the food in the freezer in the tent and my propane stove. Yeah, that one was... Did we get another rant? Another rant? No shit. Wow, another one from Westboro. Do you think Trump just reads promises from the previous president and makes them happen? Embassy Jerusalem, no Iran nukes, etc. I don't know. It could be. Very interesting. It could be. Seems like it. Seems like it. With that, now we are just 70 away. Just 70 away from adding a second additional hour to the show. Wow. Thank you so much, Westboro. Thank you. Best part of a hurricane is the party after about a week waiting for the power to come back on. Ocala's Villages is full of liberals. Watch out for Nazi HOA places. Definitely watch out for those. Don't go anywhere that has an HOA. Don't go anywhere that has an HOA. I hope we become neighbors soon. We need to counter all the Northeasterners coming here with their stupid ideas from the blue cities. Court recognizes that national security must be protected, the security of our troops must be protected, and war plans must be protected, but especially in light of the country's recent incursion in Venezuela and the ongoing war with Iran, it's more important than ever that the public have access to information from a variety of perspectives about what the government's doing. Oh, so he's making a policy decision, not he's decided that because of what's going on. Sounds like he's a woke piece of shit. The court cannot conclude his opinion without noting once again that what's the case really about the attempt by the Secretary of War to dictate the information received by the American people. Well, judge orders Pentagon to grant full press access. Judge blocks Pentagon from imposing new press access. Judge says Pentagon is violating order to restore reporters access. Judge finds Pentagon is violating court order to restore access to reporters. Suspect throws Molotov cocktails at OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's home. Fixer, it didn't happen. Jim, my HOA sent me a letter to take down my outside lights. I emailed them telling them to come do it. Beehive says, I even drove my bike around the neighborhood calling in down lines and barely didn't get electrocuted. Never do that. Might have saved some lives too. Yeah. National Beef and JBS are Brazilian companies. Smithfield Foods, a Chinese company. They get to ship our livestock overseas to engineer shortages, and they have proxies to use lawfare. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, homeowners association. Yeah, HOA homeowners associations suck. I hate them. First time I called, one of the operators said, thanks, keep doing that. There were lots of old people that might have died if their medical gear didn't get electric. Yeah. HOA is a big problem in Florida. DeSantis is fixing it. Homeowners Association. Yes, they're terrible. I'll send you an email. There's actually quite a lot of stuff I should talk to you about. Okay, cool. I hear my cat. I don't know if I think the cat got out when wants to come back in maybe. A man threw a Molotov cocktail at OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's San Francisco home on Friday morning. The suspect was taken into custody. Nobody was hurt. According to OpenAI, the male suspect also made threats outside of its San Francisco headquarters very early Friday morning. The suspect has not been identified. They'll try to spin this as being Elon's fault. Oh, of course they will. Yeah, HOAs suck. So are the 50-plus only trailer parks that discriminate against people under 50. Many such cases. Yes, many such cases. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. So I don't know. We appreciate how quickly SFPD responded. The officer learned that an unknown man had thrown an incendiary destructive device at a home, causing a fire to an exterior gate. Suspect fled on foot. So I don't know why this is even a story, really, to tell you the truth. In my humble opinion. All right, let's do this. Okay. So we got 11 illegal aliens indicted for staging fake armed robberies across massive two-shits and a massive visa fraud scheme. Sanctuary Democrats facilitates this fraud.
This is one of 6 stores behind me where authorities say the suspects staged those fake robberies. All of it an elaborate conspiracy plot to allegedly fast-track their immigration status. Federal agents made the arrest, rounding up 11 people who are Indian nationals who are now charged in connection with a plot to stage fake armed robberies at area convenience and liquor stores. Federal authorities say some of the defendants posed as store clerks who could then claim on their immigration applications that they were victims of violent crimes, a designation that would make them eligible for what's known as a U visa.
If a non-citizen is the victim of a serious crime in the United States, and that victim helps the police, helps the prosecutors or investigators, then that victim may qualify for temporary legal status, a so-called U visa.
Retired state district court judge James Barretto says there are definite perks to qualifying.
Now that visa, Mary, as you know, is good, I think, if I recall correctly, up to 4 years, and also may extend beyond that immediate alleged victim to that individual's spouse or children. It's a big deal.
According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the alleged stage robberies happened at 6 area stores in Hingham, Weymouth, Randolph, Marshfield, and Worcester. Court documents say the alleged robberies were all caught on store surveillance cameras, and the so-called victims plan to use that video as proof as they applied for a U visa.
Wow, that's crazy. That is just crazy. Why would anybody sign up to live in an HOA neighborhood? People don't know, and they get told, like, oh, it's not a big deal. They do the stuff, and they help you do this and that, and they lie. Bella has found some peace. Yeah, I think the medicine might have worked. I put a lot of it in there, and I had to chase her around to get her back in here. Yes. All of our, some people just ignore the HOA rules and flip off the security trucks when they come by. Yeah, but they can actually, the HOAs can take your house away, make you sell it, force you to sell it, and stuff like that. They can. All of our politicians are selling us out because it's beneficial for their financial, political aspirations and careers. Demon rats in Minneapolis are a blueprint. Republicans will do the same scam with Indians, the import via the tech, pharmaceutical, engineering industries. Will California get even worse than Newscomb? Will the choo-choo train be built? No, the choo-choo train will not be built. That train's never going to be built. They actually looked into it, all right? They could buy, instead of having the train, they could just buy everybody airplane tickets with the amount of money they're saying it's going to cost. They could buy anyone who wants to fly for 200 years. They can fly everyone who wants to fly between San Francisco and LA. Just buy them a plane ticket and give it to them for free. It would be cheaper. If the HOA saw my weed, I'd be evicted. Yeah. When all the boomers die, I'm buying one of their beachfront mansions for $20. Well, good luck. And this is an illegal immigrant in Worcester has been living under stolen identity of dead Americans since 2001. He collected SNAP benefits. He was convicted of cocaine trafficking and assault with a gun under that stolen identity. When he applied for SNAP, a massive two shits DTA employee flagged in writing death match in his file. The application was approved anyway. Governor Healy says fraud does not happen here. The dead man whose identity was stolen might disagree. Worcester man. Well, he's an illegal alien, so he's not a Worcester man. I hate this when they do this. It's around Worcester. Yeah, Worcester. I'm sorry, Worcester. Worcester man, whose federal prosecutors say was in the country illegally, has been charged with stealing the identity of a dead United States citizen to access food stamps. The man whose name has not been released, but who prosecutors say is a 57-year-old citizen of the Dominican Republic, was arrested April 2nd, according to a news release from the U.S. Attorney for massive two shits. Prosecutors say he used a social security number of a citizen from Puerto Rico who died in 2006 to get a massive two shits identification document and a social security card, then applied and received SNAP benefits. The man has been living in massive two shits under a dead person's identity since at least 2001. A friend had a house on the Hood Canal. The clams were ridiculous. Worcester, like wussy. Worcester. I like the idea of locking people up. We have defunded the police here. No one gets stopped even. My brother was a deputy sheriff for years, quit and works for the state. Wow. That's terrible. That's just horrible, horrible. Glad they caught him. Catch more. That's right. When he spoke, when he was released. So he was in 2012, the man was convicted in the Worcester Superior Court under stolen identity of assault and battery, trafficking cocaine, and sentenced to state prison. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, he was released in January 22, after which he applied for SNAP benefits. When we spoke to the massive two-shits Department of Transitional Assistance, about his application, he gave the name and social security number of the dead man. The employee noticed that the social security number matched a dead person and wrote this in the file, including a note that he would review it with a supervisor, but the application was eventually approved. The man received $12,000 in SNAP benefits between April 2022 and February 2026. The man has been charged with unlawfully obtaining SNAP benefits and misrepresenting his social security number. How about identity theft, fraud, something? I feel minor pangs of pride every time you say massive two shits. Never go to Worcester. Tons of crackheads. Worcestershire. Oh, here we go. Last week, Kentucky former pastor Jose Lopez Hernandez pled guilty to sexual abuse. He has immigration detainer hold. Let's see. Gender, male, active, Vine link, age, race, unknown. It's unknown what race he is. Unknown. This story pisses me off, man. Illegal alien and Haitian national Robert Yocam has been arrested for the brutal murder of a mother working as a clerk at a gas station. This is crazy.
Mother of two teenagers is killed in front of a Fort Myers gas station. For the first time, we're getting a look at the woman beaten with a hammer. A judge ruled the suspect, Robert Joaquin, will stay in jail. Gulf Coast News reporter Kendall Brandt is live at the Chevron on MLK Jr. Boulevard, where you spoke with family and people saddened about this woman's violent death.
We've spent the last 2 days speaking with coworkers and family of the woman brutally killed in front of this gas station on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Highlands Avenue. They tell us her name was Yasmin, a loving mother to two daughters who hails from Bangladesh. Now a memorial is growing in front of that gas station as police work to put the pieces together with the suspect now in jail.
Everybody right now is sad, Not only me or not also my Bangladeshi community, also the whole of US people, also the whole around the world, they are very sad to see this news.
These are photos of the victim. Co-workers and family tell us her name was Yasmin, and she was always kind to everyone she met. People like MD Islam say the mother was just outside moments before the brutal attack.
She was good too because she came and she just did her prayer in the morning.
Co-workers say that happened just minutes before this video was taken from surveillance cameras, showing the clerk walking outside after noticing a man smashing in her car windows with a hammer. He runs toward her, hitting her in the head and killing her. The brutal attack sparked a manhunt that ended with police finding Robert Joaquin on Mingo Street.
I would just say one word: persistence. We were not going home until we found him. We had, I think, a cop on every single block in the last confirmed area that we saw him. And we used every resource, like I said, from our aviation support, canine support, to boots on the ground.
Joaquin made his first court appearance this morning. He's being held with no bond. Meanwhile, people like Islam say they still have questions about what led up to this murder.
I don't know why some people been crazy, we have no idea. Basically, actually, I cannot explain, So this same happened everywhere. In this world. It's pretty bad right now.
This is crazy, man. Like this ain't far from me. This ain't far from me where this happened. This is nuts that this could happen. And this, you know. Check this out. Take a look at this illegal alien that was released into the U.S. under a fake asylum claim by Joe Biden and the Demon Rats. He just murders his ex-wife in Orlando, blowing her brains out. She's a fake asylum seeker, too. So much blood spilled for votes.
Take a look. This is Himba Romero being walked out of the Orlando Police Department. Orlando police say he called 911 after shooting his wife, Frangelen Reyes.
Police were called here to Eaglesmere Drive Monday around 1:30 in the afternoon. When officers got here, they found Reyes with a gunshot wound.
Medics tried to save her, but she died. Investigators say a fight between the two led to the attack. While they
A judge blocked it. A judge blocked them being deported.
were still living together, they had recently separated. Reyes also started a new relationship, which officers say led to many arguments. Romero is now on an immigration detainer because investigators say he and his wife entered the country illegally. They say Romero and Reyes entered through Texas about 3 years ago and requested asylum. Take a look.
Wow. Yeah, they should be in a mental asylum. A mental asylum. All right, let's go to my bookmarks and see what we got here. We saw this one. We saw this one. 4 women have described sexual misconduct by Eric Swalwell. Says the FBI played a crucial role in combating violent crime nationwide. Read this recent roundup of violent crime stories. No, through Mexico, not through Texas, you woke tard. Yeah. Not as bad as other states, but they're here too. Yes, they are. There are still illegals in Florida. I hated them. Yes. FBI plays a key role in combating violent crimes across the country. Former FBI most wanted fugitive admits child sex trafficking. Donald Eugene Fields was once on the FBI's 10 most wanted. He admitted to accepting items of value from a friend and co-defendant, Theodore Ted John Sartori, in exchange for access to the victim beginning when she was 14. Fields was indicted in 2022, was arrested. Lady Lake, Florida, officers learned he was on the FBI's most wanted list. A Pakistani national pleads guilty to attempting to commit ISIS-inspired attack on a Jewish center in New York. A Pakistani citizen residing in Canada pleaded guilty to 1 count of attempting to commit acts of terrorism. Columbus man pleads guilty to cyber stalking acts, creating an AI-generated obscene materials of adults and children. He installed more than 24 AI platforms and more than 100 AI-based web models on his phone. The defendant used telephone calls, voicemails, text messages, and web postings to engage in a campaign of harassment against his victims. It's crazy. 3 18th Street gang leaders sentenced to over 115 years in prison for racketeering conspiracy. Wow, no, let me see. I don't think I caught that one. Wow. Wow, look at this one. Terrifying moment caught on a Ring camera shows a deranged man in a long coat crashing out, asking, "Where's your daughter?" and threatening the man on camera that he will end him if he doesn't open the door. Wow.
Hello?
Hi there. Can you open this door, please?
For what?
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just figured I'd check on something.
I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house.
Open this fucking door. Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter, man?
What are you talking about?
Where's your daughter? Who's in there with you?
Bro, if you don't
open
leave...
this fucking door. Open this door. I'm breaking it fucking down. You understand me?
Leave my house. You don't...
Are you okay? Is everyone in this house okay?
What? Everyone's okay. What do you want?
I would have opened the door for him. I'd be like, come on in. I got something for you.
Can you leave my house, please?
You open the door, please.
You have nothing to do with my house. Can you leave my house?
You know what my name is?
I don't know who you are. You don't belong in this neighborhood. That's for sure.
This is my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker. Open the door. This is my neighborhood. Open the fucking door. Now, or I will fucking end you. Do you understand me?
What the fuck? Silent Bob gone wild. Dresden Files nerd. Yeah. He's wearing sandals. He's wearing sandals. Look at, you can see his toes. He's wearing sandals and a trench coat. This guy's definitely fucking crazy.
Fucking kill you! Open the door!
He's famous now. The memes are all over. Harry Dresden is a wizard. Who is this? I don't know. Somebody sent me this. Blah. I don't know who this guy is. This is crazy. Yeah. How would you handle this? The guy grew up. I mean, this just happened a couple days ago. HOA when they find out you voted for Trump. Demon Slayer. Yeah. He called himself Harry Dresden, the wizard from the Dresden Files. I'm dead. Make these sounds great again. Update arrest made. Okay. Let's see.
Now, or I will fucking end you. Do you understand me?
Stand up and turn around. Don't move. Don't move.
Well, at least he got arrested. I'd open the door and stand back. Yeah, that dog would have a good time. That dog would have a good time. Yeah, I'm going to open the door. Locals know who he is, and he was arrested. Jason Nichols in Fairfield, California. Okay. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. We got this story. Look at this. A 75-year-old Brooklyn grandmother, Linda Scott, was beaten and her face stomped in her front yard after asking two women to pick up their dog's poop. Can you believe this? John Cusack's not having a good day. She was 2 feet away from the speaker. trench coat, yeah. I'm surprised my cat stayed here after that. Yeah. Somebody make that into a death metal song. Dad, calm down. Well, Sharon! Yeah. He needs a sandwich. The cops there are slow. You ain't kidding. This is the part where you get shot with a 12 gauge through the door. Getting your face is ridiculous and it hurts. Okay, I don't know what that means. I had a brother that could go off like that. Scary times. Oh, man. SSRI syndrome, yes. I get in trouble in California, definitely. So Miss Scott was treated for injuries at the hospital. She is a foreign Muslim. Since this is a foreign Muslim mayor, Zoran, the Kami Mandami city, no one has been arrested. And even if they were, they'd just be released. You read it. You don't know what it means. It was a joke. Okay. Yeah, Neuro, what's up, man? Great to see you. That's right. Smash the like, hit the follow, do all them things. Avoid Brooklyn. All right, let's see here. Avoid Brooklyn.
Ammonia on my phone and on my dog. That was totally rude. That was totally rude. That was totally disrespectful.
So this happened Monday morning in Crown Heights. Linda Scott tells CBS News New York there is an abandoned lot near her home where many people walk their dogs. And she says most of the owners don't pick up after the animals, so she spreads ammonia near the property to keep out pests.
We asked them to clean up and stuff like that, and they got mad and started cursing and all this other nonsense. And, you know, then I went and I put some ammonia by my fence back there, and they said I splashed it on them.
It was just as a deterrent, and I guess they were standing right there by the fence when it happened, and my mother can't see over that fence.
I hope they get arrested.
I just want them caught. That's all. It's wrong.
Scott was hospitalized for her injuries and did file a police report. No arrests have been made.
Was driving. The Dresden Files was a great show, tragically canceled. It must have had a cult following. Two women, as usual, the filthy and insufferable manners don't pick up their just not jump to conclusions. And it's them again, Dr. Jackson. It's always them, Furling. Look at this. New York judge who locked up the cooler cop faced anger for going easy on team who killed homeless man. Yeah, we saw this yesterday. So this teen killed a homeless man. He said, I don't want to send you to jail because I don't want to ruin your life. Yeah, it's simple. Justice Guy Mitchell, who is a black, wanted to get Branley Gonzalez no jail time because he's a minority for killing a homeless man. He gave Eric Duran jail because he's an anti-cop and Duran is white. Well, Duran's... He's busy. Yeah, look at him throwing up gang signs. Oh, what do you know? Look at this. Muslim, Michigan Democrat, U.S. Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed caught on camera telling Michigan voters who criticize his refusal to condemn Sharia law, you might not hate Muslims, but Muslims definitely hate you.
Listen, I was talking with Kamal Salim, who's endorsed me for my governorship. It's not racist. He was talking about it as a function of his religion. Well, it has nothing to do with religion. Just because he's got the keyword Muslim in it, that doesn't mean it's a Muslim organization. It means that they use that as a mask to go off and do things like he's doing right now, to go off and make it a victim. But no, this is very serious stuff, guys. This is about civilization jihad. It needs to be up in the awareness. We should have an adult conversation, not simple name calling. I'm tired of name calling.
Thank you. Dr. El Sayed, you want to use 30 seconds? And Shri, okay? And Shri, you can get your 30 seconds first. A lot of them.
So I grew up in this state. And you can imagine going to school with a name like mine, you get a fair share of bullying. The fact is that I just don't pay attention to bullies. It's not worth it. But here's the thing. One of the biggest frustrations that I've had is that the assumption that there should be some sort of association between me and some dastardly group functions simply on the fact that I choose to pray a particular way. It is implicitude that is used to raise the scepter that has everything to do with context. Now, here's the thing. What frustrates me more is not that you have blatant racism on the part of certain people, but what frustrates me more is, in the words of Martin Luther King, is that one of the most dangerous aspects is not when bad people speak out, it's when good people fail to speak out. And what I have not heard is the Republicans on this panel decisively and swiftly call out this kind of Islamophobia, this kind of racism in the context, right, that they are running to represent a state that has the highest per capita number of Muslim Americans in the country. Now, you might not hate Muslims, but I'll tell you, Muslims definitely hate you.
All right, Sheree?
Oh, wow. Muslims hate you. Okay. All right. I guess they should leave then. It's now been revealed that senior Chinese Communist Party member Guizhong Zhan fathered 26 children through California surrogacy while flaunting U.S. laws that are so weak that one of his children could become president of the United States. Wow.
He serves in the Chinese Communist Party. He had, according to California officials, 26 children born through surrogacy in the United States, all of them, of course, now U.S. citizens. He said in one interview his plans was for one of them to eventually become president of the United States.
Wow. Wow. Washington Post journalist Thomas Van LeGros has pleaded guilty to possession of child porn in D.C. FBI agents executed a search warrant at his residence and seized several electronic devices. During the execution of the warrants, agents observed what appeared to be fractured pieces of a hard drive hidden under a rug in the basement of the residence. After looking at LeGros' laptop, they found a folder that contained 11 videos depicting children being raped. These videos depicted adult men sexually abusing prepubescent children and forcing them to engage in acts. Yes. Yes, this person. I mean, there's got to be some kind of phrenology or something like that, a physiology. And then this story is very interesting. The donations from Dan Driscoll's wife. Third time refreshing, Al Gore's rhythm sensors are working. Yes. However, it makes me worried that Dan Driscoll has a history of doing what he's alleged to be doing. He unilaterally traveled to meet Zelensky without Hex's knowledge. Yeah. President met with U.S. Secretary Dan Driscoll, November 2025. Army Secretary's wife gave a max contribution to a member of the seditious six who frequently criticized Hexeth and the Trump administration. So this is who the Secretary of the Army is. I think he needs to be removed. He gave money to these people. So his wife gave money to these scumbags. Maybe who hired him? Who picked him? How did he become the Secretary of the fucking Army? How? How? Check this out. Massive two shits DAs can no longer hold armed robbers before trial. The state's highest court ruled it's not violent enough. So armed robbery isn't violent enough to keep people in jail. Wow. Does anyone know why Jim is cussing? I'm a little upset. Slightly upset. Dog-faced pony soldiers. Yeah, that's them. Anyway, people, well, unfortunately, we did not hit the goal. We went for 3 hours and almost 3.5 hours. We didn't hit the second goal, so I'm going to call it a night. I don't see anybody live right now to raid. I mean, I don't really see anybody live right now to raid. I mean, let me see. I guess we can raid her. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Anyway. Thank you. Would Nancy Pelosi mind if I pitch a tent in front of one of her villas? I wouldn't mind. Go right ahead. Good night, folks. Good night, Bella. Good night, everybody. I want to thank everybody who was here. Please remember to hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Camelot? Okay. Fucking pin codes. I was going to do Anna, that Star Wars girl. But I guess we could do Camelot. I guess we could do Camelot. Fuck it. Instead of Anna. It's fine with me. All right. Thank you all. Thanks for the stream. Camelot blocked me in chat. Oh, okay, well. All right. Raid Third Rallify. They're not live. They're not live. They're not live. You can raid whoever you want, but I don't see anybody live on YouTube. I don't see them on YouTube or anything. All right. Tomorrow's schedule. Tomorrow's schedule should be probably an 8 or 9 o'clock stream tomorrow night. Should be a little earlier. We'll see. Should be like 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Thank you all. Please come back tomorrow for Jim to tell you the news.